I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Bryce Harper, move aside. The biggest home run hitter in Philadelphia is that man, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Carter. Oh, my. Save the birds, and we're off to the NFC Championship game at the Link on Sunday against Washington. Oh, my. What a weekend of football. Good morning, everybody. A happy MLK Day on a incredible Victory Monday. What a day yesterday. We found out that Washington stuns Detroit on a Saturday night in Motown. And then all we needed was the Eagles to win yesterday for the home NFC title game. And it happened. It was a sweat. It was an amazing game. Everything we love about football in the snow. Second half, the big flakes, the snow. It was dramatic. Injuries, tough game. It's just every piece of it was awesome. It was an incredible day. Thrilling victory through the big snowflakes on a Sunday in January. What a day, everybody. It was incredible. So let's get to it. Saquon Barkley. Again, we talked about it. I said he's not going to run for 255, but he runs for 205, 2 bombs, the 78-yarder and the 62-yarder. Which were 2 backbreakers. Jalen, we'll get to his health status in a little while, but Jalen gets things started with the big 44-yard run. I said you got to lean into the run game with him, man. And he breaks one free for the first score of the game, and then it was just nip and tuck. And I don't know about you guys, but it was a game that I did not feel comfortable all game long. It was a game where I kept thinking, oh, my, L.A., with all the fires and the devastation and the horrific things that happened, to host an NFC championship game, the NFL would love that, would absolutely love that. And, things in sports, we talk about teams being galvanized, and things in sports seem to kind of work out that way, where there would be the game that was moved to Phoenix. Their only home game would suddenly be vindicated with a home NFC championship game, but it was not to be. Thanks to Jalen Carter, who is every bit one of the best defensive players in all of football. The king of the D-line is Jalen Carter, and the game comes down to him. He had 2 sacks and none bigger. Then there it was, 3rd and 2, the Rams on the doorstep and sitting there at the Eagles' 13-yard line. Oh, my, he comes bursting through, right? Like, he never gets off the field, right? And he still has a motor that appears to be nonstop. It was such an amazing performance from Jalen Carter. He is every bit the beast. He is a beast. He is unblockable. And on the biggest play of the game, 3rd and 2 from the Eagles 13, Rams looking to take the lead. He barrels through the A-gap right into Stafford's face and suffocates him into the snow. Stafford last-ditch 4th and 11 prayer to Nakua, not close. And the Birds survive. It was wild. Thanks to Barkley and thanks to Carter. We're going to be hosting Washington for the NFC title game. Commanders shock the Lions. So many things to unpack in that game, right? But it's going to set up a third game between the Eagles and Washington. The upstart Commanders. Who would have thought it, man? That's one thing that has surprised me is that Daniels looks incredible. He was amazing against Tampa. They were able to kind of hold the ball, run clock, manipulate the clock, win first down. They were able to hold the ball 11 more minutes than the Buccaneers in the wild card round. And then Saturday night, he showed his brilliance again. He was, to all the protections, all the Lions did was blitz, 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 and he made him pay every time. So the Commanders earned their ticket to Philadelphia. What a game, man. It's going to be incredible. Daniels versus Hurts and Barkley and Carter and this Eagles team that is so good, just so good. Yesterday was scary. It was frightening. And then the snow makes it that much more of an even battle. Man, it goes back to Barkley. Everything goes back to Saquon, who was fantastic, especially when Hurts injures his knee and you see can't move, right? Can't run. And, man, that was such a big thing. There were a couple of huge plays that happened, after the safety. The Rams get the ball, and they start to drive. And it's a 2nd and 2. And Kyren Williams, to me, this was the big part of the game. Kyren Williams fumble. The Rams had all the momentum in the world, right? They just get the safety. They're about to drive. At the very least, probably take the lead on a field goal because their kicker had no issues in the weather. And Kyren Williams coughs it up. Eagles are able to kind of get it. And then Elliott comes big, hit 2 big field goals. I know the extra points were a mess, but he hits the 2 big field goals to kind of settle things down. And that was it, man. That was you want to talk about wild swings because it was nip and tuck. It was 13-13. The Eagles were able to come down and take the lead at 16-13. And then the safety, which was scary. And, again, Kyren Williams' fumble was huge in that. The turnovers, again, the Eagles are able to win the turnover battle, and it was everything. It truly was. Good news, and we'll check in with Zach Berman a little bit later on, but the absolutely great news is that Quinyon Mitchell looks like he's okay and will be able to play on Sunday. He's a must, especially with Isaiah Rodgers. We'll get an update on him too, but Quinyon's so good, and especially against this Washington team with Terry McLaurin and now Dynami Brown, who has become their second target, who's a speed guy. So a big deal for Quinyon to be healthy. We'll see about the status of Hurts. He's going to play, but how effective will he be with the knee? It's going to be a long week leading up to the NFC title game. What an amazing weekend of football. It caps last night with the Bills, and the Bills able to beat Baltimore, Josh Allen. It'll be Bills Chiefs again, which is this generation's Colts Patriots, an amazing rivalry. And the hope is still alive for Bills Mafia versus the real Mafia and the Eagles. It's going to happen. Bills, Eagles in New Orleans. Oh, please say it so. Good morning, VG. Happy Victory Monday.
All they do is win, no matter what. Dude, they're ridiculous. It may not be pretty at times, but who cares? All they do is win. And you know what? I'm saying all we do is win. I was thinking about this today. You and I, we don't like to say we a lot, but we've been vilified just along with this team. The whole country hates us. They hate our team. So it's a we right now. I think we have an exception right now.
I agree.
It's we.
You know what?
All we do is win, and the country hates it. without the help of the referees like your boys, Spags and Reed. They get a little help these days.
Well, Mahomes, God, jeez.
You can't even breathe on them.
I mean, my God, that was two of them.
Ridiculous.
They got two gifts.
So ridiculous. And Aikman's like, oh, my God.
Even Troy was like, come on, dude, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, so all we do is win.
Yeah.
And this ain't going to stop
And there was no
this
flex.
week.
I don't know about you, but all I kept looking for on that last play was a flag.
Of course.
Right? Because they were complaining that Stafford got hit and after he delivers the ball, I'm going, oh, no, they're not going to. The NFL's not going to have that script out, right? There's not going to be some yellow.
Right.
Oh, please. No yellow. Yellow in the snow is never good.
Nah, even when you're walking around with the dogs. Yeah,
it's never good.
Yeah, yellow snow stinks.
But there was no yellow in that snow yesterday after the 4th and 11 play, and the Eagles are able to survive. What a thrilling game.
Jalen Carter is nuts.
Dude, he's the best. And Dominican Sue.
Nuts.
He's so good. So good. I mean, in the play, it's 3rd and 2. You're gassed.
Right.
He hasn't been off the field, right? And he finds his way to somehow get through the A gap, and he just suffocates
Props to
Stafford.
these SEC guys who don't know what the snow is. They're stepping up. Yeah, they haven't played in snow.
Well, I had another one.
Yes.
Nolan Smith sack fumble.
Yes.
Which was huge.
Stepping up in the
Another
cold.
big play. And, that second half was dicey, dude. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fear in that game.
Yeah, towards the end, of course. What can we say that, Alpha? What is Kellen Moore doing
the whole game
on that second down play with the rollout with a quarterback with a bad knee where he gets sacked for 12 yards? Like, come on, Kellen.
Yeah,
the Saquon's going nuts. What are you doing?
I know. I don't understand
that.
I know. I didn't get it. I don't get it. If there's ever a lesson to just feed Barkley. Yeah. Now, I know he got 26 carries, but my God.
27 would be okay.
Yeah, or 30.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially when your quarterback is gimpy, and that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, the Rams are going to want to blitz, and Barkley's going to make you pay for it.
He makes you pay. Even the second long run, second home run. Like, it's first down. You're up 6. They know you're running the ball.
Yes.
They can't stop it. We talked about it. Even though you try and stop Barkley, you cannot stop him with this offense.
Sometimes what happened, and this happened with the Rams in both games, because he hits the 2 home runs against the Rams the first time, and then yesterday, is like when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if you get to that second level, it's lights out.
Lights out.
There's nobody there.
Dude, and he's like banging his head while he's running on that break with that home run. He's like hitting himself in the head, flying in the end zone. He's having the greatest time right now.
Saquon is one of the greatest athletes to ever come through here. And if you couple in his greatness as a running back, his professionalism, right? Because you listen to him talk after the game. He's such a gentleman. He's such a pro.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, we've never had a running back as great as Shady and B. West and Wilbert and all those guys. No one comes close to him. He's so good.
Dude, and his career, I mean, he's ridiculous, but his career, if he was at a half-decent team, would be right there with the all-timers.
Yeah, it'd be the greatest back in the history of the NFL, man. He's showing you right now.
Yeah. Also big on the Commanders. They lose Cosme, their guard.
That's a huge deal.
Carter should be feasting.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. Sam Cosme, who was a second-round pick in 2021, he's a big cog for that O-line. So they have to put in their backup tackle to play guard. So, like you can see some of the things.
Chum in the water.
Yes. Yeah.
For Carter.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Big loss for Washington. Huge loss. Because, quite frankly, the way they look Saturday night, they could be scary, right? Like, they could be pretty scary. But that's a big loss. And the interior of this line has played so well. Milton Williams, I mean, they just one after the other. I mean, led by Carter, obviously.
Dude, I was reading, the kid, Jayden Daniels, is just ridiculous. I read this piece where when teams drafted him, when he was talking to draft teams, one of the conditions that he would have to be able to do VR training, virtual reality, and he does it at 1.75 speed of normal game speed. So he's doing virtual training at almost twice the speed, so the game slows down for him in real life.
Yeah,
It's really smart, man.
yeah, it's
And it's showing. I mean, the game doesn't look too fast for him.
well. Not only that, he looks so calm.
Yeah.
His calmness is crazy. He's got that weird, crazy calm going. Like that building is going nuts in Detroit, right?
Mhm.
The Ford Field's crazy, right? It's loud, the whole thing, and he's unfazed.
He had no pulse sitting on that bench.
No, Andrew. No, he did not. He was. Listen, it's going to be a game, right? Eagles instituted as what 5.5?
Yeah,
Let's see.
I thought it was
5.5. It'll be a game. I think it'll be a sweat. I think we'll be in New Orleans, but I think it's going to be a sweat.
That game was like the Detroit Washington game was almost like the coach, the meathead coach's Super Bowl with Dan Campbell and Dan Quinn. They actually look like they could be brothers.
I love them. I got to tell you, like they're my kind of guys. Quite frankly. I mean, I love those.
What are
two
they
guys.
doing with 12 men on the field? Call the timeout. They're all screaming to get someone off the field. Just call the timeout.
Just call timeout. You got to call timeout there. That's just outrageous. 4th down. Like, are you kidding me? Like, how in the world?
I mean, Brady's saying it for 30 seconds.
I know.
The
He's like,
broadcast.
he's telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. But again, now Washington goes up and down the field against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is not good. I mean, they were just been banged up and they got riddled by injuries. So it's a shame, right, for them. But that's also one of the reasons why Washington was able to just, explode on them. And then I don't understand it. You can't blitz him.
I don't understand why you can't, but
You can't blitz Daniels. In fact,
which is good for the Eagles.
Right.
They're not a blitzing team.
right. The Eagles don't blitz.
Right.
It's a completely different thing. Look, and I thought that Washington would have trouble with Tampa because of, the Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
Temple Todd and he's got exotic blitzes.
Yep.
Didn't matter. Kept them on the field. Same thing. They went after him. I went after him. And he had an answer for each time. Eagles don't do that. They play good, sound defense.
Yep.
And I think that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
It forces him to do things, and I think he struggles with that.
Well, yeah.
Not struggles, but
Yeah, he's gonna the game's gonna just come to him. He's gonna have to sit back and make the reads. And Fangio,
patience. Yeah.
Fangio is a guy who can confuse people.
He's a great coach, man.
Is it?
Vic Fangio? Oh my God, is unbelievable. Like that dude is an amazing defensive coordinator. The year that he has had, let's face it,
because I was a little skeptical.
they're here because of Barkley and Fangio.
Yep.
And let's not
it.
get it twisted in any which way. The Eagles' offensive front, the O-line, their D-line, Barkley and Fangio.
Yeah, and the young
the
kids, but
secondary.
Fangio's a big
Yeah.
part of those kids in the secondary.
Yeah.
And I was skeptical of Fangio coming here. I didn't know if he was old, washed up, retread guy, but nah.
Nah,
He's legit. He
has
in.
been unbelievable.
Let me ask you: is Jayden Daniels? Is it the greatest rookie year of a quarterback? Like in memory, I can't remember a rookie quarterback coming in like this. Like the Paytons, they all struggled. Right? Like Brady was hot, but he wasn't. Like
Brady was different. Remember, because he wins the job off of Bledsoe.
injury.
Bledsoe got hurt,
Yeah,
and he goes.
This rookie campaign by Jayden Daniels, I don't remember anyone coming in like this.
Yeah, no, I mean he. I mean, the fact is, going to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't have a ton of weapons. He's got McLaurin's great. He's doing Zach Ertz.
I mean,
Like,
McLaurin. I mean, Dynamic Brown has come up to be good. I mean, but they're not. I agree with you. I mean, he's doing a lot of improvising.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great player. But look, the Eagles have been there before, right? They just play ugly, which we like beautiful. Some, again, we talk about beauty in the eye of the beholder. This is Philadelphia's dream team, right?
Yeah.
To win with a running back and football and defense. This is what, long ago when the fan base, we'll call it the Dirty 30, was screaming and yelling for Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
This is what they had in their mind's eye.
Right. Yeah, totally. And combine that with the snow, dude, it was ideal. I mean, it was
a game for the ages. It was
game.
a game that, years from now, you know how nostalgic we are in Philadelphia. Years from now, we will reference this game in the snow. Rams in the snow. It becomes a legendary game.
So Frazier sending me 6 rookie quarterbacks have made it to a championship game. Sean King.
Well, hold on. I know Flacco did it.
Yep.
And so did Kaepernick, right?
No. They got Sean King.
They played each other.
99. Ben Roethlisberger, 2004. Joe Flacco, 2008. Mark Sanchez, 2009. Brock Purdy, 2022. And Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, that's wild. Amazing stat. Incredible, man. Birds, what a day. What a day. What a day.
What a weekend.
It really was. It was a great weekend,
And
man.
we still got more tonight.
Yeah.
More football tonight.
Yeah. What did I say to you? Getting out of the car.
Oh, my God. He's already complaining. He's like, I'm so sad. There's only 2 games left or 3 games left.
Well, 4 right now.
He's talking pros.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I love it, and I'm exalted, and this is what you play for. But I do, there's nothing better than watching football, man. There's just nothing better than this game.
Yeah.
It's the greatest theater that you ever have. You could have.
I pull into the park.
When you have a good team, man, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
In the parking lot, I parked the car. I just see him wandering around. He's like, kicking snow, all sad. I was like, what's the matter, Ann? He's like, there's only 3 more games left. He's like, we're so sad.
I mean, I was thrilled by the victory, but then I started to think, well, I look forward to these games.
And tonight's going to be a great one. It's going to be the dessert after this weekend of football, the after mint.
National championship he's talking about, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I don't know how good it's going to be.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be competitive. I'm feeling a competitive game.
Yeah.
I feel like Riley Leonard's going to be doing something a little special tonight.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm rooting for Notre Dame, but I don't see how they keep it close, to be honest with you. The matchup is too daunting.
Yeah. And before we get into, we're going to get rolling with guests and analysis. You got to give a shout out to Nick. He got those boys practicing outdoors. I hope he continues it this week. They're ready to play. Props to Sirianni because they're rolling right now and they're mentally where they want to be. Even they interview Zach Bond running off the field and they ask him about the game and he's like, "We got more work to do." That's it. He's not talking about the victory.
What I love about Sirianni is that messaging has permeated through that locker room, which is, let's go, man. The goal is parade 4 games. So there's no celebrate. There was no celebrating after the first one. There's no celebrating after the second one. I'm sure if they
job's not done.
I'm sure you win the title game. I don't want to talk about it. There'll be some you celebrate then, and then you go wild after in the world.
And I know you want Bills Mafia, but I want revenge.
You want Chiefs?
I want
Same.
Chiefs.
No, I want Bills.
Same. I was talking about that with my family last night.
I want to burst that 3-peat bubble so bad.
Exactly. The 3-peat started with the Eagles, and the 3-peat's going to die with the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Take it down. The Swifties, the Rees, the referees, take it all down.
Good thing.
Yeah, baby.
And we be the ultimate villains. Yeah. Crush the Swifties' dreams.
Well, here's a good thing. I think the Eagles would be the darling. More people would root Eagles against the Chiefs. If it's the Bills, then we're the heel.
Yeah, we're the heel.
Oh, yeah.
But if we're the Chiefs, people have Chiefs fatigue, especially if the Mahomes gets away with it last week on Saturday.
The one where he flopped running out of bounds. Come on, dude. He's ridiculous. I'm starting to hate him. I really am starting to hate him.
Yeah, he's annoying. That game was annoying.
Yeah, that was tough.
I got to tell you, though, perusing through social media and seeing all the comments on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff like that, America wants the Commanders and Bills.
Yes.
And they're all like, please, NFL, do not give us Chiefs, Eagles. We do not want it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Eagles and Bills, to me, would be the great match. I love the story of Buffalo. And look, they go down 7-0 quick last night, and then they control the game. They control that game. Sean McDermott, a great coach.
Yeah, he had a great game.
He's a great coach, man. Look, I know that Zay Flowers is a big loss for Lamar, but
Andrews with a couple drops.
Dude, how?
Oh my God,
that game's going to overtime, maybe.
Yeah.
And the Bulls cradled his arm. He drops it. 2 of them.
Yeah, he did.
But the last one was ridiculous on the 2-point conversion. They dial up the right play. It's unbelievable,
He
man.
should be thrown in prison for that.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, seriously, to lose that. Oh my God. Lots to get to today. Z Berm is going up shortly to get things rolling. Let's talk about some of our friends, shall we? That's right. How about Golden Nugget Jewelers? Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Look, Valentine's Day, I know you're going to be happy too. You'll be like, yeah, birds. You're going to be in a good mood. You want to shower your loved one with some gifts. Your girl's going to get a happy Valentine's Day. So make sure you can go to Golden Nugget Jewelers. Diamond earrings, diamond pendants. They have it all at Golden Nugget Jewelers. What a selection. If you're thinking about popping the question, right? Eagle fan wedding. Well, guess what? Golden Nugget Jewelers. They have it. What's the matter? You look runnerish.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking like
you look runnerish.
We may have 3 weeks where you're going to want to focus on football, possibly. Yeah, you might want a little gift for your lady, special person, to make them put up with you.
Like a Super Bowl gift.
Yeah, just in case. Just be ready in
whether
case,
it's the diamond engagement ring or whether it's the Super Bowl gift.
Yeah, just be ready.
Or you can't say that.
I don't want to get there yet, but just be ready.
The big game gift or the run gift, whatever you want to call it.
Something away.
Make sure you go to goldennuggetjewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers is where Philly gets engaged. And listen, after the big game, right, after the championship, after this run, make sure you do a little getaway. How about a winter weekend getaway in Valley Forge and Montgomery County?
Even if you're a little anxious about the game, take a walk in the park, bring your dogs out there, walk around bundle up, walk around the park.
It's perfect,
Take your golden
man.
nugget there. Take your golden nugget to Valley Forge.
Yeah, Valley Forge and Montgomery County, so much to offer. Must-see historical sites, tons of family attractions, a vibrant art scene, outdoor activities, shopping, you name it. Just 18 miles from Center City is Montgomery County and Valley Forge. Listen, you got all kinds of little getaways, B&Bs, romantic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and you can do a little shopping, little outdoor stuff, little
family
dining
stuff. It's got it all. ValleyForge.org can help you discover hidden gems, endless activities, and tons of places to stay in Montgo. That's right. Get planning that next getaway today. ValleyForge.org. Make it family and fun and make it Montgo. All right. Now joining us, this portion of the program, by the way, is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I wonder how my girl, the CEO of TrueMark, Kelly Body, she's going to be fired up today. I know that. Listen, check out the TrueMark, the credit union difference at TrueMark.com/PHLY. Now, joining us, does such a great job covering the birds for here at PHLY. You're going to read him. You can see him. He's the best. Zach Berman. Wow, Zach. So much to unpack, baby.
Yeah, good morning. Survive and advance again. As Nick Sirianni said, championship-level defense. Saquon Barkley setting records. I know that it was closer than a lot of fans would have expected, especially, it was real touch and go there in that final minute. Like the Rams brought it close, but the Eagles win. And I imagine for anyone who was in the building, that's one of the more memorable playoff games they've been to. With that weather, with just the atmosphere there, it was a pretty memorable environment.
Yeah, I mean, it was an instant classic, right? I mean, we love snow. By the way, phrase, we're frozen. I don't know what that is or that means, but it was incredible theater. I mean, the snow, everything else. Z-Berm, let's get to the two heroes of the game. We'll start with Saquon because of the obvious. He and Bryce Harper, the biggest home run hitters in Philadelphia.
Good point, right? Yeah, I mean, you look in 2 games against the Rams, going for over, those 4 electric runs that he had. He won yesterday, the 81-yarder.
Yeah, what are we doing here, my boy? Do we need
We're having some technical difficulties right now.
some technical difficulties?
Yeah, I think it's our internet. I think maybe the storm or something must have messed us up. Let me check.
All right. You want to restart it, or I don't know how you do it. All right. Are we live or hello? Go Birds.
Yeah, I guess I just asked if we're frozen on their end. Ray from Philly says yes. Oh, Ray, can you hear us, people out there? Ray says you guys are still on. Oh, we are?
All right, good.
Oh, all right.
You just saw us kind of,
Just hanging out.
all right, we're just doing our thing.
I was one of the things Zach had mentioned in his piece he did today about Barkley is that Barkley checked out the record. Like he saw it was Steve Van Buren of 192 in the playoffs and wanted to break it.
Really?
Yes, it was something he was conscious of. And I thought that was
love
pretty
that.
interesting.
I absolutely love that. I think that's fantastic.
I thought that was a fascinating nugget.
That's fantastic. Yeah, my buddy.
There we
Bruce
go.
said, you're live. We can hear you. All right, we got it. I think we're good now.
Perfect.
The
Yes.
Of the internet.
No worries. No, thrilled to be here. So, yeah. So as VG was just saying, this week Saquon Barkley looked up Steve Van Buren's record. He was curious what the record was in Eagles history for postseason yards. He knew, or for a single game, he knew he had a big game last week against the Packers. Thought he rushed well. Thought there was more there. Obviously, remembered what he did against the Rams. So he looked that up, and it's kind of cool symmetry here because when you think about the great Eagles snow games in franchise history, Steve Van Buren, 1948. He woke up the day of the championship game. Woke up in Drexel Hill, looked outside. It was a blizzard. Thought the game was canceled. All right. The coach at the time called him up. His car
Neil?
was Greasy Neil. Yeah, his car was snowed in. He took the L to the Broad Street. He took the Market Street line up. He walked to Connie Mack Stadium. Now that was not the record-setting game. That was the year before. But that's you think about Van Buren, you think about that game. So now here you have it that Saquon Barkley breaks the record in a memorable snow game. Before we froze, we were talking about the home run hitters. You're absolutely right about that because you look at these two games against the Rams this year. Think about this: he had those two touchdowns of 70+ yards. His three longest runs this year have been touchdowns against the Rams. The fifth longest run was a touchdown against the Rams yesterday too. So yeah, he has those home run runs. I spoke to him on Friday about this. One thing he said is that when you load the box against him, once you get past that first level, there's no one there to chase him down, and that's what you saw yesterday. It's what he's doing this year is beyond anyone's imagination.
It is. It's indescribable.
Zach, because you're digging into the people in the clubhouse that make the operations work.
Yeah.
Which I think it's fascinating. Can you talk about the Greg, what is it, Delamitros?
Yeah. Greg D he's the VP of Equipment Ops. He's been there for a long time. He was there under Andy, and he's big, obviously, with so much behind the scenes. But in particular, in these snow games, the cleats that they're wearing. So one thing that Saquon said is that he needs to listen to Greg D because in Brazil he didn't listen to Greg D about the long spikes he needed to wear. He thought he was fine with what he had. Slipped on the first drive a number of times. Changed his cleats. You saw what happened thereafter. So Greg D was a big part of the footing in yesterday's game. Anyway, Saquon Barkley's he's jogging off the field into the tunnel. There are two kids standing on the pathway to the locker room. Saquon gives this young boy a ball. Unbeknownst to Saquon, that was Greg D's son. Right, so it's
super cool, right?
It's
pretty cool of all
beautiful.
games. Yeah, so
I love that. Hey Zach, all right,
yeah. So you can read that on PHLY.com right now. If I give a shameless plug,
love it. No, you got you. That's why one of the reasons why you're here because you're great, and we want to plug your work, which is exemplary. All right, I got to talk about Carter because Jalen Carter was an absolute beast again and on the biggest play, right? They get down to 3rd and 2 after the penalty. Stafford hits Nakua for 10, And there comes Carter, right? Barreling through the A gap. It's amazing because he's not off the field, never's off the field, and he has the biggest sack of the game. He's just such a game wrecker, and he's clutch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jalen Carter, I was by his locker talking to him. Howie Roseman walks by and says, should I take a picture of this, Jalen? Right, of all these people around him, and Howie said how proud he was. Jalen Carter, this is the best way to sum it up. He's the best player on the best defense in the NFL. That's the best way to sum up what Jalen Carter is for this team this year. And in the big moments yesterday, he made, and obviously that final play of the game, but he sacked on the play before. He had the peanut punch earlier in the game when the Eagles badly needed to force a turnover. Jalen Carter is, as multiple players in that year, they call him the best defensive tackle in the NFL. Now, there's some really good defensive tackles in the NFL, but what Jalen's doing, he's in that conversation.
Great he is for the whole season. I say training camp. You had the sense that he was going to come in and have a monster. And on a day when everything was pointing Rams, I don't know about you, but I was uncomfortable and all get out because the story of the Rams and the Fires and the ability to host the NFC title game, right after they got displaced on their other home game last week, it just felt really dicey. Like it just felt like sometimes the universe steps in, and Carter said no to the universe.
Yeah, so to take you through that whole sequence, when Saquon has the long run, the 78-yard run, I'm thinking, all right, he just called game, right? And that's it. 2 touchdowns right now. That's too much. And then, Jake Elliott misses the extra point, and you're like, all right, that won't really come into play. But then the Rams go downfield quickly. They score the touchdown. They have all 3 timeouts. The Eagles call that what I thought was a foolish play on second down on offense. Jalen gets sacked, pushes them back, so they're not going to get the first here. So the Rams get possession back before the 2-minute warning. They have that free timeout with the 2-minute warning. I was like, all right, this is closer than I thought it was going to be. They have that big catch down the right sideline. They're in striking distance. And if Jalen Carter doesn't get that third down sack, I think that game's different because that third down sack pushes the Rams into a 4th and long situation there. At that point, they huddle up because they know that they need to get in the end zone there. They're not really going to have enough time. Had Jalen not gotten that third down sack, the Rams would have had more time to work with. They would have had more options to work with. And I covered Fletcher Cox's entire career, and one thing I always remember Fletcher saying is that in big moments, you need to step up and make a play. Probably the best example of this is Aaron Donald on that 4th down in the Super Bowl against the Bengals. And Sean McVay's on the sideline saying, Aaron Donald, make a play here. AD, make a play here. Well, you saw Jalen Carter when the Eagles needed it. He penetrated the line of scrimmage both times. He was unblockable. And spinning this forward, the Commanders just lost, their starting guard, Sam Cosmi, right? Jalen Carter can do this again next week.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, man. A couple things. One, I'll tell you, the biggest play to me was the Kyron Williams fumble because it happened after the safety. They were getting momentum. And that fumble, it was a 2nd and 2. So that fumble was a big deal.
You're right. I thought after the safety, the Eagles were in a tough spot because Jalen clearly wasn't moving well. They were pinned back, and I thought the Rams could start to make some plays there. And that's when the defense came through. And this to me was the big lesson or the big story from Saturday night's game against the Lions is that like turnovers, no matter what, turnovers change everything. And the Eagles didn't commit those or they didn't commit those turnovers yesterday. The Rams did. Those back-to-back drives, the Eagles defense stepped up, and that changed the game right there. That's what the Eagles needed. I asked Josh Sweat after the safety, did you guys think you needed a turnover? He said, yeah. They knew that spot. They needed to take the ball away got the Eagles a short field. They get the field goal. They needed every point yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's a field goal game late, then the Rams tie it up. It goes into overtime. So those four start, it was critical the way the Eagles played there.
All right, couple things. Let's, because there's so much to unpack, but the injuries are weighing on me. Tell me about Hurts and the knee.
Yeah, so Jalen says we'll see how this week goes. And my eyes perk up, or my ears perk up, whatever the expression is, and I'm thinking like, we'll see how this week goes. And so I say, just to clarify, are you in question this week? Like, is your status in question? And he says that's a good question. No, we'll see how it goes. And then he said that he's confident that he's going to play. That doesn't mean that he's going to be fully healthy.
Well,
you
that's
saw
the
yesterday
thing.
he was not.
expecting him to play. I'm expecting him to play. I need him to be able to move. I can't have a stationary Hurts.
Yeah, you're correct about that. And I don't know the answer to that because he wasn't moving well yesterday. Now he'll have a full week here. They can put a brace on it, but look, you saw the opening drive of the game. Jalen run 41 yards. That was the longest run of his career. You take that part away from him, and then you saw in the second half the safety, the third down sack. When he can't escape pressure, it's a tough spot. Like this is not like McNabb against Arizona right now, where McNabb has the broken ankle and sits back and still throws for the touchdowns. Like Jalen, when he's not moving, it's not looking the same. So they'll have a full week to kind of build a game plan around it, but that should absolutely be a concern.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I'll tell you about Quinyon because I guess he told reporters that he was good after the game, and then somebody else texted me something that maybe he spoke too soon or whatever. I don't know. Tell me what you think. What you hear?
Yeah. So I saw him walking gingerly, like walking slowly in the locker room. It's a shoulder, it's not like the lower body, but he wasn't walking like himself. He told some reporters he'll be okay.
Right? It's a shoulder. Because somebody else told me it might have been a collarbone, right?
Yes. Well, so it was ruled a shoulder. We'll see what it is. This is one that I imagine will stretch through this week. I don't believe it to be serious. His arm wasn't in a sling, but that doesn't mean that he'll be out there. He did express, confidence to reporters yesterday that he'll be good, but whether he'll be good by 3:00 on Sunday, I don't have the answer for that.
How about Rodgers? We all saw him limp off.
Yeah, he seemed fine in the locker room. I don't have an update there, but yeah, there was no indication in the locker room that this would be a problem.
All right. That actually looks scary. I thought something happened. The way he took himself right out of the game, unless he got scared that he felt something.
Yeah.
But he took himself right out of the game, and he just hopped over to the sidelines. Oh my God. So much to think about with how that thing worked out. Elliott, again, misses the extra points, but he did hit clutch field goals.
Yeah, Braden Mann, legit. Grabbing those snaps in that weather.
Yeah, like that one where he reaches over. The snap was a little to the side, and he pulled it back down.
Especially after Jason Avant on Friday said how slick that ball is once it's a little wet.
Yeah. How do you feel about Elliott right now?
Well, you don't feel great about him. I mean, he missed those extra points. That could have been the look. If the Rams score there, you have Andy Reid against the Packers saying we can all count, right? And because that's the kind of situation that it was, and he's got to hit those extra points. Those field goals were clutch, no doubt about that. But this is now 3 missed extra points in the postseason in 2 games here. I get it that it's those conditions were ugly yesterday, no question there. But you got to hit those extra points in the postseason. You saw yesterday these games are too close. Washington's a good team. If the Eagles make the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Bills will beat up any mistake you have. They can't leave points on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Zach, man, you are amazing in the press conference. Are you in the front row? Because we can't see it, but you're like one of the first questions every guest. So props to you for getting that in there. And I didn't hear or see anything about it. Is Sirianni plan on practicing outside? Did he address that at all for this upcoming week?
Yeah, so they have. He said that part of why they're prepared for the snow, for these conditions, is because they practice outside. Nick has been on record saying that he does not want to practice inside unless the wind makes it impossible to practice, right? Or makes it really difficult to practice, or it's like such heavy rain or something like that it affects practice. But if it's cold, if it's drizzling, if there are flurries, they'll still practice outside. My guess is they'll continue practicing at the stadium because the field in NovaCare is frozen right now, and unless there's a big thaw coming during these next few days, that's going to stay frozen. So they'll probably do what they've done the past 2 weeks, which is take the buses, police escorted buses, by the way, across the street to the stadium, practice at the stadium. But my guess is they'll still be outside the next 3 days.
I love it. Because
Wait, time out. Well, what's the schedule? Because here's the one thing. We're getting hit with that polar vortex, and Tuesday and Wednesday, the high is 18 and 20. Now, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I put him outside on Thursday where it's going to be 30 degrees, but I'm not putting him outside when it's 18 and 20 and the wind chill is because Sunday, it's going to be 40 degrees on Sunday. Sunday is going to be,
okay.
I don't need to put him out there because when it's cold like that, you don't need any tweaks or anything. Like it's super cold. And I don't practice outside.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're off on Tuesday,
Yeah.
so they don't have to worry about that. Wednesday's their first day of practice. Their biggest practice of the week is Thursday. Thursday's the long practice. So if it clears up, then that's good. But if it's that cold that it's unbearable, maybe they're inside. I got to say though, Wednesday's practice last week was bitterly cold, and they were outside
cold.
for that.
I remember how cold it was. It's going to be colder. Like it's going to be colder.
Okay.
I don't see why you would do it. And no, again, I wouldn't even have Jalen out there with a bad knee in that kind of weather.
Yeah, that's going to be. I think Hurts' status is going to be the big question this week too.
Like he's
sure.
going to, like we know he's going to play. They'll figure out something he's going to play. But to me, the whole game's going to be, can he move? Because you said it just a moment ago. When he moves, he's dangerous, and the offense works. When he doesn't, it grinds to a halt.
Yes, and look, when the Eagles played the Commanders the first game, Jayden Daniels was dealing with something there.
Yeah.
He wasn't moving as well. That was Jayden Daniels looked much better the second time around. Jalen Hurts, with the way he's played this year, if he's not moving, there's going to be pressure that comes down on him. Now the Commanders' pressure is not the same as what the Rams had. So that there's some saving grace there.
Verse in Washington. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I was watching in awe of what Washington did against Detroit. I did not see that coming. That's a swarming defense. That you saw the takeaways there. They're getting good production from their secondary.
They kind of grew up. It's a young secondary, and they kind of grew up. The kid from Michigan had two
Sandstrom.
had two great. The one he takes away. Now, Goff, I thought should have led him further into the corner of the end zone. He didn't, and it hung up, and he made a great play on the ball and the interception. Jameson Williams had him by a step, but he made two picks. He played well. Bobby Wagner's kind of made a difference. Like you could see him, like that veteran thing. They're kind of stingy, but their front is not a scary front.
No, you're right. And Jonathan Allen he'll be out there. Wasn't out there when the Eagles played them before, so that would be a difference. But they simply don't have the pressure around the edge. Dorrance Armstrong's a good edge rusher there, but I'd be less worried about that defensive front than what you saw from the Rams.
Yeah,
I mean, Lattimore's healthier than he was last time they played too.
Yeah.
Because that was like his first game back, I think, or
Yeah.
first or second game back. And that Luvu he's a menace.
Yeah,
he can be annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big question of this game is going to be, can you stop that offense? Because that offense is humming right now. What they did against Detroit was, I mean, it was eye-opening. I thought I was going to.
What scares me about them even more than Detroit, like it's what they do on first down. They win first down, Zach. They did it against Tampa. And when you win first down, man, you could bleed clock, shorten the game. Like, that works. And they manipulate it. They could go with that kind of the sugar huddle, right? Like they'll do that sort of thing for you, with you. Yeah, like that part of it scares me.
You're absolutely right. I thought I was going to be on a plane to Detroit on Saturday. When that game happened, I couldn't believe it. I thought the Lions were the best team in the NFC, and this changes so much. The Eagles being at home, the Eagles playing the Commanders, but you have to respect what Jayden Daniels is doing right now. You have to respect the way Terry McLaurin's playing. They're getting more production from Diami Brown. And I mean, Zach Ertz has been outstanding for them, and Cliff Kingsbury is dialing all the right notes. This is not going to be an easy game for the Eagles on Sunday.
No, I know. I'm with you. All right, but we're going to be there. NFC title game all week long. Keep it right here on PHLY. Zachariah at 2:00 today.
Yep, 2:00. I'll be chiming in with Bo and Fran. Bo and Fran will be in the studio. I got 2 more pieces going up on allphly.com today, and I'll have content throughout the week. So make sure you check that out.
Sounds like he's actually playing a little under the weather, too. You clogged up today, Zach?
Yeah, I only slept like 3.5 hours last night, so feeling it a bit. But
nice.
But yeah, want to get this rolling.
Yeah. We respect you getting up early and joining us.
Yeah, we love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Great stuff, pal. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, coming up, the brain. We're going to dive into it. What's up?
I got chills because I was looking Bet Park's Super Bowl odds. The Eagles are favored.
Yeah, I did see that.
Plus 185.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I'm on the Bet Park Sportsbook app now. I'm just trying to find out. Let me know if you see.
And I'm going to say another thing that I might. You got to get it while you can. You don't. I don't think this counts as a jinx, but you can bet on the Super Bowl MVP right now. Saquon. I mean, if the Eagles are favored to win it, why wouldn't Saquon be favored to win MVP? He's third at plus 500.
Yeah, I definitely would play that.
That's a good play.
Hey, by the way, Eagles, speaking of Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app, make sure you download it to your phone. Have it for these playoffs for Sunday and the championship games tonight with Ohio State, Notre Dame. The Eagles on the Bet Park apps, 5.5. That's a good line.
Mm-hmm.
5.5 to total 47.5 right here on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Make sure you download it. Make sure you have it. Make your downtime fun time too. Like during the other game, you want to hang around. There's always a way to win, like live dealer blackjack, roulette, craps, right there on your phone. In fact, new customers, you download it, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to do. I'm telling you, man, it's the best. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, we are brought to you by the great people at Rothman. Yes, joints aching, hands cramping, back out of whack. Rothman's got you at Rothman Orthopedics. Practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. 50 years. All right, their mission, high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leading to new treatments, better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor is laser focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They got a team for every body part right here in our backyard. So you can, cross over that defense, right? You can go for the out anytime you want. You can root for your teams like no other fans in the country. Rothman Orthopedics, they specialize in you. Here's the deal, all right? Rothman Orthopedics specializes in orthopedics in you. You can visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY To learn more and to make an appointment today. All right, joining us now, the ambassador of the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. He, of course, the Brain.
Brain. Red, the Brain Finder.
Good morning, Brain. Happy
Good morning, Anthony.
Monday
How are
to
you? Happy Monday to you as well, my friend. Good to see everyone.
So what do you think, man? Give me your 50,000-foot reaction.
Well, it's just a lot of look, Anthony, on our show, we got all four right, but it's interesting with the Eagles. It kind of depends where you got it, right? Opened at 5. I think when we did our show, it was 5.5. Closed at 7. Shows you the importance of getting that good number.
That's why
for all
he's a
the
happy
people
man today. His biggest bet of the playoff cashed with the Birds.
Yeah, well, it's funny. My takeaway from that game, and first of all, let me ask you a question, because this is, I think, a big thing for the Eagles. Mitchell's health. I know that I read he dodged a major injury. I don't know if that means he's not out for his career. I don't know if that means he's back next week. I don't know if that means he'll be back if they play in the Super Bowl. But I definitely see a big drop off with him and Rodgers. Have you heard anything on that, or not really enough to know?
In fact, I mean, I just know he told reporters that he was good. I did hear a friend of mine sent me something that he is not, even though he said he was good to go next week, that he's not in a good spot. So I don't know. I don't want to have. There's a whole thing behind it, but I don't know. I mean, we just got to wait and see.
When I look at the Eagles,
even more than Mitchell is Hurts, because if Hurts can't move, that offense is a problem.
It's interesting. The reason I before the playoffs started, I actually picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, and the reason being was I thought Detroit's defense would do them in the game, which I guess we saw against Washington. And I thought the Eagles, even with this version of Jalen Hurts playing the Trent Dilfer role, I thought because of how good their defense was, similar to the Trent Dilfer the year they won it, and similar to the year that Peyton Manning won it for Denver, because the defense was playing that well, they could get it done. But now that I see that they lose Dean and Mitchell, I don't think their defense is going to be at that level that they need to carry them. I think either AFC team, in my opinion, especially Baltimore, I think Baltimore would have destroyed the Eagles in a rematch. But I think Baltimore, in my opinion, having watched that game against Buffalo, I give Buffalo credit. I thought Buffalo would win like a 1 or 2 point game. But if they played that game again, I feel like Baltimore really, they have to be hating themselves right now. I think the Eagles will have a much harder time in the Super Bowl, because I don't think their defense will necessarily, Anthony, be able to shut down either of those teams. This game against Washington, look, you would hope at home they could still get it done. But man, Anthony, the Jalen Hurts thing and the Jake Elliott thing, if people want to sweep it under the rug and they just want to pretend it's not there, okay, but it's there. And Jalen Hurts is, in my opinion, forget it. I mean, I think he's closer to bad than average at this point. I don't think he's even competent almost. That's just my opinion. Well, I think they're winning in spite of him.
What the heck is Brain? First of all, the Ravens would have destroyed the Eagles at a rematch.
Destroyed. Double, I would be surprised if they was not double digits. I don't think the Eagles offensively, with this version of Jalen Hurts, I think it's so much pressure on Barkley to continue and to get these 200-yard games, which credit to him, VG. He keeps doing it, but I just think it's really, really difficult. I think it's a lot of pressure on this team when you have a quarterback. Again, to win the Trent Dilfer Peyton Manning way, it can be done. It's been twice. We've seen it happen twice. When you have an incompetent quarterback that can't throw, passing wise.
Yeah, hold on. I got some stats I want to get Brain to look at.
I do. The one
Brain,
thing.
can you just look at this? Josh Allen, 127 yards, 20 yards rushing. Patrick Mahomes, 177 yards, 14 yards rushing. Jalen Hurts, 128 yards. He had 2 drops and a touchdown called back, so that should be like 178 yards, 70 yards rushing and a touchdown. They're all comparable. Like, why are you crapping all over Jalen Hurts?
Because, again, did you put up Sam Darnold's stats? They're probably comparable to that as well.
Sam Darnold stinks. He's never won anything.
Well, my point being is if you look at his stats, VG, in the game, they probably were just as good as those guys, if not even better. But I thought he destroyed Jalen Hurts' awareness yesterday in terms of the pocket presence was, again, shocking to me. Again, I was just like,
he takes too many sacks. He holds the ball too long. But this
I couldn't believe it. And listen, I'm rooting for the Eagles, just so that you know. And I mean, I am rooting hard for the Eagles, but I think that Jalen, and again, look, Eagles fans want to pretend or not pretend, just think he's playing fine. Okay. You can have your opinion. I don't see that, VG. I think if you watch the games, you have a team that's scared basically to throw the ball, and in my opinion, for good reason. You're right. He got unlucky with the A.J. Brown drop. That was an absolute horrific drop. That cost him 7 points factually. That was horrible. I agree with you 100%, VG. But I saw those other passes where
the other ball. Another drop. Yeah. Devontae got hammered with the hit to the head, which would have been another. I mean,
could have been a catch.
A horrible. He took too many sacks, but other than that, his play was
that's
comparable as Josh Allen's yesterday.
Yeah, I can't get there with that. But listen, obviously the running game is sensational. Barkley's having the greatest year any running back has had. And the field goal kicker is another thing where, yeah, and you can say, he's just due to make the next one. It's fine. He's been good for 10 years in a row here, which he has. He's been great, Jake Elliott. But to get away with 2 missed extra points was a gift. And they almost did.
His biggest win of the year. He sounds ungrateful. You sound ungrateful for the biggest win. Biggest win.
I look at what should have happened a lot, not what does happen. And they have a quarterback to me that is, in my opinion, again, I don't. You're going to tell me your question. Do you think he's a good quarterback right now?
I think he's fine for what they need. He's not. They're not.
Okay.
He's not losing them games.
Okay, you're going with the Trent Dilfer, Peyton Manning philosophy, which is fine.
Peyton Manning, sure.
But I don't know. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, sure. I'll take it. All he does is win, Brad.
Listen, I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater.
Win, no matter what.
VJ, not a Jalen Hurts hater, my friend. Not at all. Please no, not a Jalen Hurts hater. And I just, again, maybe I'm just seeing the game differently than other people are, and that's certainly possible. And that doesn't make me right. I'm smart enough to know that doesn't make me right. But I do think that this version of Hurts, again, comparing it to what I saw when they were in the Super Bowl year, it's a different player. It's not even, it doesn't seem to me like the similar player. Maybe the stats show one thing and you're going by that. I see a team that their passing game to me seems pretty impotent. And they have good receivers, but I see a passing game to me they're so reliant on Barkley for these 60-yard runs, which is amazing. He keeps getting them, VG, but it's just hard to keep expecting Barkley to get 65-yard runs, multiple of them every single week. And that's your price to win. It's just a very difficult path to win. Not saying they can't do it, because you're right, they keep doing it. But I think it's just very difficult. Just my 2 cents. I hope I'm wrong. I'm rooting for the team very hard, guys.
Well, I know where your heart lies. I do. Here's the difference. I'm not a big fan of the comparison of Dilfer and Manning, only in this sense. One, his legs are the difference. It's like why I said going into the game yesterday, they got to get him involved in a run game. And look,
44-yarder.
Right? Like, that's why he's not. And that's what makes him dangerous at that position. Now, plus, I don't think the Eagles' defense, while I love it, is as good as the Ravens.
No, definitely not.
But if you take away his running ability with his knee, well, now I'm worried. Like,
he's probably not in the NFL, to be honest with you. He's probably not even in the NFL.
Well, now I'm worried about. No, I'm talking about Sunday, right? Like, if you take away, if something's up with his knee and he's gimpy on Sunday and he struggles to move, well, now I'm afraid, because of what you're talking about. There is truth to the passing game when he can't move. That's what scares me. Like, that would scare me. Depending on his health. Like, that's a big deal. He's got to be able to move for numerous reasons, to find throwing windows, right? To escape any kind of pressure. Like, that's his game. So let me ask
you both you guys a question. At the end of the game, it was 20. What was the first score of the game? 20, 22. It was 28-15. There was four minutes to go in the game. Matt Stafford gets the ball 4 to 4.5 minutes to go. VG, Anthony, let me ask you a question. The Eagles were down 28-15 at that point. Do you think we would have seen anything like what we saw? Do you think we would have seen a passing game?
Obviously, well, especially not yesterday because he was not, he couldn't move at the end of that game.
I'm just saying if they need to pass,
I don't. I don't. I don't see that. I mean, I don't see them coming back from 28-15. I don't.
No, but that's not how they're built, and they weren't down.
Right? No, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, they built to play in front. They're built to play in front, which they've stayed in front all year. And VG, that's a fair point. But I'm just saying, again, listen, if it just doesn't go off on the script one of these games, and they do fall behind, then I'm like, okay, will they have the ability with this version of Hurts to just right the ship? In the past, for sure,
I think that's fair. I do. Like, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
It's fair. But yesterday in the tight games, 3 of the 4 winning quarterbacks threw for under 200 yards. I mean,
yeah. Well,
the Eagles are not an anomaly right now with the way their offense is playing.
Listen, VG, again, fair points. I hear you. I just wish I saw a little bit more. I wish I had a little more confidence in their passing game. But can they beat Washington this week? Look, Washington. Look, again, the quarterback is brilliant. I'm not sure how good the rest of the team is, though. I mean, that's, to me, McLaurin's a really good receiver. Dynamic Brown is raised his game and given them like a viable number 2 for the time being. But I don't see, in my opinion, a good defense. I think their defense is still below average. And I just don't, again, I think this is a quarterback who has put this team on his back. And with that, if you strip this player off this team, I think this team wins 4 to 5 games, Washington. So I think the Eagles still really should beat this team. I really, really do. If Hurts has anything, because I really don't, again, Washington, they scored every single time against Detroit. That's not going to happen against Philadelphia. It's just not. They're not going to score.
That won't happen. That won't happen. Again, to me, the game comes down to, I want Mitchell out there. I need Mitchell out there.
Big thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
So I guess Ian Rappaport was on the NFL Network within the hour and said that Hurts and Mitchell did not suffer major injuries. I
saw that.
I don't know if that means they play this week. I would think it does.
Well, I think Hurts is going to play, but what can he move?
What version?
Like that's the whole point is he's got to move. That's it.
Well, it's funny. Let me ask you guys a question real quick. Way different player, but you're going to say he's 41 years old and everything's different, and I'll give you that. But to me, Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, let's call him in our last 20 years, top 5 quarterback conservatively. And one of the things that made him, in addition to his brilliance as a passer, his brilliance was he always had what I call amazing functional mobility, where he could always avoid that sack. He could run and get out of a play and always extend the play. And it's what made him being from maybe really good to being maybe one of the 5 best quarterbacks ever. He didn't have that functional mobility this year. And to me, it lowered his level an incredible amount where he couldn't run. If you take that off of Jalen Hurts,
yeah, I agree.
What do you have?
No,
I'm just trying to keep it real. That's
my only worry. I look at Sunday, and my biggest worry is, can he move? Because he's got to be able to move. That's it. I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think that's any kind of insight. Like, I thought they needed to get involved in the run game, the weather, the whole thing. Hey, we got a game tonight, National Championship.
Yes, sir.
How do you feeling, buddy?
I mean, I think it's going to be, again, I think it's probably going to be Ohio State. And I did bet. I had to lay minus 150 juice, but I think it was worth. I took under 12.5 points in the first quarter. I think it's going to be Ohio State. But again, we've seen, look at the Lions game. Jared Goff throws a couple, bad passes, some weird play calls when they're down 10. Instead of going down the field, they give the ball to Jameson Williams.
Dude, I don't understand that.
They need a couple flukes to go their way.
That a little bit, yeah.
They need a couple flukes to go their way. If there's a fumble, they have to get that fumble. If there's an interception, the guy can't drop like, oh, my bad, I dropped it. They're the inferior team, but we saw inferior teams. By the way, I know you got to run, but I got to say 2 things on closing. Number 1, I'm very happy the Eagles won. Again, I'm not hating on them. And again, great win for the franchise, exciting for the fan base. And I'm extremely happy that they won. And I think they are going to win and hopefully go to the Super Bowl. So again, not trying to damper anyone's thing. Great win for them. And they overcame a lot of adversity.
We know your heart is with. We know where your heart lies. You're a Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, I got to tell you, I texted you off air. The amount of calls they get in these games now, I feel like it's gotten to the point where like the public is there's almost a borderline outcry. You can't keep doing this with Mahomes. And Mahomes, remember the Alex Rodriguez play where he slapped the guy's hand from the Red Sox and he got karate chopped him at first base, and everyone's like, you are cheat. Patrick Mahomes with this crap he's doing when he's faking these late hits. I love Mahomes. He's like one of my favorite athletes, but man, I can't stand it.
Oh, dude, I hate it too.
It's everybody.
Everybody hates it.
I was at the pub and it was packed. The entire place is just hating on Mahomes at this point.
Listen, as a guy who's an endorser and everything like that, I know it sounds weird, but if he keeps doing this thing where he could go from like on wrestling, like turn from fan favorite to from baby to heel pretty quickly if he keeps doing this and they keep giving him these calls. Yeah, they could become like, the Dallas Cowboys where people like start rooting against them and stuff like that. It wouldn't shock me. I really mean it. Because all my friends were just furious watching that.
And people hated Brady, but Brady never flopped like this. The flops are just
never,
ridiculous.
Not like that. It was like what was it? Remember Victor against Andre Drummond? It was like that.
No,
it was just bad.
Was that from this year?
Well,
was that a game, Sixers game
when
this
Andre
year?
Drummond got that foul, and then they had to overturn it. They ejected him for shoving Wembyana. Then they went to the replay. They go, not only are you not rejected.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can't. No one needs that stuff. No one needs that stuff.
I feel you, my bro. Listen, great stuff as always, buddy. We love you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate you. You're the best. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good, guys.
The brain. Speaking of
taking some shrapnel in the chat.
Yeah. By the way, this portion of the show brought to you by Rite Aid. Go to riteaid.com to find the nearest store and pharmacy. Hey, can you put those pictures in? Because we're on the topic of Mahomes on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of where it is.
Oh, yeah. The AI is great right now.
Yeah.
Creating stuff like this.
This is great. You got the other one? The other one's even better. That's the best. I was cracking up, man. That's fantastic. My buddy Vinny goes, billions are spent on developing AI, and we use it for memes like this.
I was just messing around last night. I was like,
hey, Grok, make a picture of Mahomes drinking beers with officials.
Yeah, I did last night. I was like, can you do a picture of Andy Reid paying off the refs? And they were like in a dark little alley, and Andy's paying out dollar bills to referees. The AI is crazy.
It is hysterical. All right, lots to do. Do we have our man? Let's go to the film room. Inside the film room right now, Franny Films.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all-22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
Yes! Hello, Mr. Films! How are you, buddy?
Ant VG. Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Happy Victory Monday.
That's right. Right back to you. A lot to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down. Let's start with the hero of the season, the hero of the day, the history maker himself, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous. We talked last week. There was the one stat going into this game that we've talked about on the show where Saquon was the 8th running back in NFL history to rush for 200 yards against a team and then face that team again in the playoffs. The previous 7 guys failed to crack 100 yards. Saquon got 200 again. I got to think, I haven't seen the number. I got to think that he's the first player to run for 200 yards against the same team twice in a season. Just an outstanding performance from Barkley. Certainly the offensive line getting after it again. It was just a really, really fun game to be able to take in.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was joking around. Like the 2 biggest home run hitters move aside Bryce Harper because it's just sick. It's funny, once the Rams, because the Rams, look, you catch him in a run blitz, and the second level's bare. And once he gets to the second level, you ain't catching him.
No, the 2 touchdown runs, the 2 long runs last night, he hit 20 miles per hour again, which he's done that now. He's done that now 13 times this season. I think the second best running back in football has had 6. Like you're talking about just a double of what any other running back has done in terms of just getting the top speed on those big play runs. And we're not talking about a 190-pound like little scat back. This isn't like Lorenzo Booker in minicamp. Wow, look how fast this guy is.
Right.
You're talking about a guy that is built the way that Saquon Barkley is, that to be that kind of sustainer, that kind of power back between the tackles, but then to also gash people with those big play runs. That's what makes him special.
Yeah. Dude, he was ridiculous. And the other, to me, the co-star is a guy that I love. I've loved him all year long. And you can finish my thought because he saved the game.
Jalen Carter, right? I mean, was just outstanding. It started early on. He gets the sack in the first quarter off that stunt with he and Nolan Smith. And going back and watching it on film, you could see right before the play, Jalen kind of gives Nolan a look, says like, "Hey, like we're gonna run this stunt." A lot of defenses, not every defense, but a lot of defenses will give the defensive tackles basically the ability to be able to call those stunts up at the line of scrimmage because they're the ones that have the idea of is this going to be man protection on my side or are they going to be sliding in my way? Because if their center is sliding towards Jalen Carter, running a stunt like that, not effective because you've got 3 versus 2.
Yeah.
But if they're sliding the opposite way, which they were on that play, well, now it's 2 versus 2, and it's like pick and roll basketball. And that's exactly what Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith did. Nolan Smith slants inside. He picks off the guard. Jalen Carter loops around it, and he comes home clean to Matthew Stafford. And you could see right before the snap, Jalen looks over at Nolan and gives him one of these, like, hey, let's run this stunt. And they're able to get home for the sack. And then later on, I mean, they ran a ton of stunts in this game. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but my guess is it's going to be one of the highest volume stunt games from the Eagles in this one. And those pressures that Jalen Carter got late, the third down sack and the fourth down pressure, go back and watch. And I'm getting ready to post a video on it now. But you could see the center, Bo Limmer, he gets his eyes away from Jalen Carter. He's responsible for blocking Carter, but Carter kind of like stutters as if he's going to run and cross his face as if there's a stunt coming that way. The center takes his eyes off him, and Jalen just takes off inside, gets home for the sack on third down, the pressure on fourth down. Eagles win the game.
Yeah, and what's most amazing is he never comes off the field.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting, and I guess Collingsworth brought this up, and he was right, that the Rams, it's funny. I never understand teams that don't run hurry up to jolt their offense. Because if you run some tempo, like Washington will do that. And then they'll manipulate the huddle. They'll do that kind of sugar huddle, where they'll do that at times. And the Rams, they started to get success late doing it. But to me, Carter gassed, right? Having enough in the tank to get home those last 2 plays. Damn, man, that was incredible. We haven't seen a defensive tackle like that in this town. Like, I know Fletch was great, and I said it. I took some shrapnel. I think that Carter's better. He's more unblockable. He's more athletic. He's just a beast, man. He's every bit of Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh wrapped up, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at his physical ability and just what he's been able to do over the course of this season, I think that first half of the year, I was like, what are the impact plays going to come at a more consistent rate? He was more of like a flash player in the first, we'll say 6, 7, 8 games. And then right around that point, mid-season, you just started to see that level of play tick up over and over and over again. And he was just making these impactful plays each and every week. And, what he's done now, this was an exclamation point on the season. You hope that he's got obviously more in the tank now, but this is a guy that has been certainly one of the best defensive linemen in football this season, especially on the interior. And it was great to be able to see him get that kind of love on a national stage too. Just being able to do that in that spot, island game, snow game, for him to take over and determine the outcome. To get to Matthew Stafford the way that he did and change the outcome of that game. The forced fumble on Kyren Williams was a game changer early in the fourth quarter. First play of the game.
The Kyren Williams play was the play of the game because
a huge play
comes after the safety. They're driving. It's 2nd and 2, dude. You're at midfield, and they're at 2nd and 2. They're going to come away with points. They're going to take the lead, and I don't know how equipped they were to take the lead. It's one thing with Saquon hitting home runs when you're up, because that's when it can happen. But when you need them, when you're down, it's just a different vibe, different feel. And that's why that fumble was everything, man.
He's had like 3 or 4 of those punch outs this year. Not like, he tackles and he strips, like where he goes and he just violently punches the ball out.
Like
and he goes for them like multiple times a game. He had one early on where Kyron Williams, I think it was maybe the first long run for Williams in the game. It was like a 16-yarder. He gets up the middle and Carter retraces, spins back around, and you could see him come from the backside and just try and punch it out. And he just missed on that one. He does it multiple times a game.
We all had concerns about the D-line and Carter, like all the snaps he was doing. And his 68th and 69th snaps, he looked like he had fresh legs. Like he just sat out.
He's unbelievable, man. He truly is. He's such a game wrecker. What a freaking player. The two of them. It's Barkley and Carter. I mean, the two of them, it's unbelievable how good that they've been. You win the game yesterday. I mean, that game was in peril. I mean, no joke. We saw it. And, when you dive into it, Franny, you saw, and then you got that weather. It's just a mess, right? And they were incredible.
But Jomo has been a nice development on the interior, too.
Yes.
He's been playing well lately.
VG, that's exactly what I was just going to say. I think when you look at, and this is not just a football thing. This is for every sport we watch, right? You need those blue chip guys, right? You're a baseball team. You need your cleanup hitter. You need your aces. You need your elite closer, right? You need those blue chip guys, and then you need that next tier of guys that are able to step up and make those crucial plays as like impact role players. You need Joe Blanton to come in and give you that huge start, right? And the Eagles are getting those kind of performances from players like Moro Ojoma, right? And you got other young players that are ascending. You see Nolan Smith, another sack in the game, and what he was doing against the run. All those guys had their moments. Oren Burks, coming in this game, that pivotal third down PBU was an outstanding play, a really heads-up play by Oren Burks in the fourth quarter. So I think when you look overall, at this defense, Jalen Carter was outstanding, but then you look around and it's like, man, they just continue to find different ways. We didn't hear from CJ Gardner-Johnson yesterday, right? We didn't hear from, obviously, Quinyon Mitchell was out after the first drive. So their best players, they kind of didn't shine in that way. But then you see, and it's like, all right, there's Ojema. Here comes Milton Williams with the pressure. Here comes, we talk about Isaiah Rodgers nearly having an interception. It gets a nice PBU against Puka Nacua later. So I think when you look overall at this defense, they're getting play up and down the depth chart.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but you've watched a million games, Franny, and yesterday had that vibe of, oh my, the fires and everything, the fact that the first playoff game got displaced and moved to Arizona. It felt like a script. Like it felt like the movie script, right? All of a sudden, NFC title game, Dateline Los Angeles.
Yeah, when they get the ball back, Eagles up by 6. And we're all looking in the studio and saying like, oh, this not feeling great right now after watching the Rams go down and drive the football and score on the previous possession. And we start going down. And I'm writing down all the lists of like the missed opportunities, right? The dropped interceptions, the untimely penalties, the sacks on third down, all of these reasons. Like, man, if they lose, like these are the plays we're going to be pointing to. But then again, Jalen Carter steps up and makes the play when it needs to be made.
I don't know about you, but it was funny. My cousin and I were talking about it. After the fourth down, right, after Carter makes the play, and then the fourth down kind of throw to Nacua, which wasn't close, they start pointing, right? And right away you're looking for the yellow in the snow. And yellow in the snow is never good. And all I kept thinking is, please no flag, please no, late hit or whatever on the quarterback.
Yeah, that's what, and look, I think we are grown this way to expect the negative outcome, expect that play, that flag to appear on the field. But look, everybody stayed disciplined within that play and was able to get the job done.
Yep. All right, couple things. Let's dive into it because looking at Washington, we're going to go through the other games coming up in a moment. But looking at Washington, Hurts, right? The knee is everything because you saw if he can't move, that worries me.
Yeah, and look, he was hobbling around yesterday. After the game, was limping around. At first he kind of waffled. We'll see how this week goes, but then Zach pressed him on it in the post game press conference. Said, "No, like I'm going to be out there next Sunday," and so we'll see Hurts. At what degree is this injury going to affect him? I guess that remains to be seen. I mean, one of the big things to keep in mind is that this Washington defense has done a really good job against Saquon Barkley for, we'll say, like 6 out of 8 quarters that they've gone up against him. The first 3 quarters and change in that first matchup, and then the final 3 quarters in the second matchup. And so I think when you look at this run game, we know that they've got the ability to belt off those explosive runs, but they're going to need to be a little bit more consistent on a down-to-down basis. They've done a nice job, Washington, with their slants up front. And so if Jalen Hurts is not able to be a factor with his legs in that game, and we know that element of the QB run, that's just another layer that really makes teams sweat, when you're going into this game plan. But if Jalen is unable to have that element to his game, they're going to really need Saquon Barkley in that rushing attack to really make sure they carry the majority of the load.
Yeah. All right, let's look at a little matchups. First, let's take what you saw Saturday night in Detroit for Washington.
Yeah, I mean, look, they painted the picture of how to go on the road and get a major upset, and they were able to create those turnovers, be opportunistic on defense. This is something we've talked about. You get into those one-game samples when you could be that chaos agent as a defense, and you're opportunistic and you take advantage of the plays when they're there to be made. That's what this defense was able to do. You saw strip sacks. You saw the ability to make plays on the football. Sanders still, the rookie second-round pick from Michigan, outstanding interception on that post route. So you're going to need to make sure that you are taking care of the football going up against this group. You got to protect the quarterback against this group. They do a great job of creating pressure, a lot of different stunts and twists and blitzes from that standpoint. The linebackers are very effective as rushers, both inside and off the edge. And that's Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner. They're going to use both guys to get after Jalen Hurts in this football game. And so it's going to be up to the offensive line and to the running backs to make sure that they are buttoned up from a protection standpoint. It wasn't pretty yesterday. 7 sacks of Jalen Hurts. Some of that self-inflicted from Jalen, right? But not always. I think sometimes some of those protections from a schematic standpoint, from an execution standpoint, were a little bit messy. And so you want to make sure all of that is buttoned up when you go up against this Washington defense.
Yeah, a couple things off of what Washington does. First of all, we know how great Daniels is, and how the game is just, we talked about how slow the game is for him. He's amazing because he's so calm. He's eerily calm. And what they do to me that makes them so dangerous is they win first down. Like, they know how to manipulate clock and possessions, and they always win first down. And, they go for a lot of fourth down, but that's because there's always like fourth and manageable.
Yeah, and that's, to me, when I look at Dan Quinn and like his evolution as a head coach, what I've always appreciated with him is that, he is not afraid to kind of like look in the mirror and say like, all right, like these are the things that I've got to do to improve. He did it defensively in Atlanta. At first they were like the Seattle cover 3, and then they morphed and they played more cover 2 and cover 1 that final year, and they didn't have success, and they end up, that staff ends up getting fired. He goes to Dallas. Ran a great defense in Dallas, and even there, like the defense changed a little bit. Once they had Parsons, they drafted him as a linebacker, and they said, no, let's move this guy to defensive end full time. Let's forget about the hybrid role. Let's play him there full time. And that defense evolved. And then he comes here and he gets his second shot as a head coach, and he said, you know what, we're not going to be conservative on offense. What are some of the things that give me headaches? And look at what they've done. On fourth down, they've been more aggressive than anybody in football at going for it. If they fail early on in games, they said, screw it, we're going to still go after it. And we've seen it in both of these playoff wins where they fail early on and they still go back and back and back, and they make defenses pay. And when you've got that quarterback in Daniels who is carrying this team right now, there's a stat going around. I saw it, coming off the win on Saturday, where all these rookie quarterbacks that have ever played in conference championship games, they are carried by a top 3 defense, a top 3 scoring defense. You're talking about Big Ben, in Pittsburgh, and Brock Purdy in San Francisco. You go through the list, all the rookie quarterbacks. This Washington defense was 18th in scoring. This Washington defense, like they create problems for you in terms of what they can do from creating turnovers and creating pressure, but they give up a boatload of yards. We saw it against Detroit. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs looked like he was going to go for 200 until that game got out of hand, and they kind of got away from the run game, right? So I think when you look at this defense and you look at Jayden Daniels, Daniels he's the X factor, right? And that's the guy that the Eagles are going to have to try and limit. They did it in that first game, and in the second game, he went nuts in the fourth quarter and led them to victory.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I hated Ben Johnson's calls. I did not like a lot of his calls. First of all, they were playing from behind, but it's criminal. Gibbs gets only 13 carries. There were plenty of opportunities to get him more carries. And quite frankly, I love Montgomery, but it's his first game back. I don't even know why you're screwing around with it.
Yeah, look, I think every single time Montgomery got the football, you kind of looked at it and said that you could see the difference in speed right now between he and Gibbs. And obviously, he was a big part of this run before his injury. He was the guy that was the lead ball carrier for them. But Gibbs, I mean, he is just so electric. And so every time he touched it, I mean, it felt like it was like 8 or 9 yards a pop, whether it was pass game or run game. And then obviously, look, they go down 2 scores and they became a little bit more one-dimensional. They started to get a little cute. We saw the trick play go for the interception.
Well, the gadget play, you're making Jameson Williams on first down. You're driving the ball, and you're going to make Jameson Williams throw it, make a decision about coverage and throwing the ball. That was asinine to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the trick plays, the fourth down stuff, like that has been part of their identity. But those plays, it's like we were saying with Washington, like they go for it early on fourth down and they fail, and it's like but then they just kept going at it. In this game, the Detroit Lions came up short on a number of those plays, those high leverage moments that if they go the other way, I would say nationally they're getting celebrated. Oh, look at the creativity here, and then they go the other way, and it ended up paying off in a big way for Washington.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if the play's a success, it's still a mistake. I mean, I looked at it like, you got to be kidding me. Now, Sam Cosmi is a big loss for Washington. Like we talked about how dominant the Eagles' front is with Carter in the middle, and Cosmi has been one of their true foundation pieces at guard.
Best offensive lineman on that team, and a guy that they felt comfortable leaving one-on-one with Jalen Carter. And that's why sometimes the double team rates for Carter haven't always been as high as other players in the league, because when the Eagles have gone up against teams that have had elite right guards, like some of the top guys in the league at that position, those teams have felt comfortable leaving their player one-on-one with Carter. And Cosmi was one of those guys. And Cosmi, honestly, especially in the pass game, has done a really good job against Carter this season in those 2 matchups. And so when they start to dig in deeper into the bag, that's a matchup now that the Eagles are able to take advantage of. My guess is that Carter's going to get doubled much more often now against Washington than what we've seen in the previous matchups. But what does that mean for Milton Williams? What does that mean for Josh Sweat and everybody else along that front? Those other guys are going to have to find ways to win. And that's been the thing with Carter, is that, while he's attracted those double teams, he'll eat the double. He hasn't been winning as often off those double teams, but he'll eat it. And now it's just up to everybody else to be able to come through and make the offense pay.
Yeah. Have you, and Chris, we'll find out about Mitchell. He's another one, a huge, especially with McLaurin and Dynamic Brown, who's become emerged as their second. It used to be Zacchaeus, and now he got banged up. It's Dynamic Brown has looked pretty good.
Yeah, but Brown has really come alive in the playoffs. He was their leading receiver on Saturday, and he is a vertical weapon. He's a guy that can run. He was like that at North Carolina. That's his X factor that he brings to that offense, and they're using him vertically. This has been a largely vertical offense for the majority of this year, and that's the problem, man. Is when you look at this offense, Cliff Kingsbury and what they've done is that they give you so much to prepare for. We talk about the QB run, the RPO, the no huddle. They're way out in front of everybody else in terms of no huddle, the screen game, the RPO game, but then that vertical passing game. And so you have so much that you've got to prepare for from a game planning standpoint. All right, you have to have answers for this, but you also have to have answers for that. You got to get ready when they go under center and what they do, because that run game is very efficient with Brian Robinson. They go with a lot of pony sets with 2 backs on the field, and they've been very effective out of that with Robinson and Eckler out there. And so it's just a lot of little things that you have to spend a little bit of extra practice time on over the course of the week. Now, the benefit for the Eagles that the previous 2 opponents for Washington did not have for this postseason. The Eagles have already seen it twice, right? You saw it just a few weeks ago. And so they will already have a little bit of that in the memory banks. But in matchup number 3, the other thing I would say too, I think the Eagles are going to be excited to take on this team for a third time. A bad taste in their mouth after how that second game went. I think that's going to be, that's going to play a little bit in the Eagles' favor as well.
Yeah. So you feel good. Now, obviously, Jalen's health is everything, but right now you feel pretty good about this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win. I would imagine that I'm not going to back off of that. I think the Eagles are a more talented team. Certainly a ton of credit for Jayden Daniels, and he is absolutely scary, I think, when you're looking at what he can do in a one-game sample. That defense, we just saw what they can do in a one-game sample, right? And I think, look, the Eagles passing game, if Washington is able to stop the run, which, again, they've been able to limit Saquon Barkley for a majority of the games that they've seen them so far this year, if they're able to keep the cap on him, and then it gets to a passing down, and instead of a third down sack, if it's a third down sack fumble, if it's a third down interception, right? Some of those plays that we saw this past week, Jalen Hurts has done a nice job of taking care of the football and not turning it over. But if that changes in a 1 or 2 play sequence in this game, that's the kind of thing that could tilt it. But look, I heard, when I was waiting for you guys, Brain was on in the last segment, and you guys were talking about, Jalen Hurts and his ineffectiveness. We've been saying it. We said it in October. We said it in November. We said it in December. Now this team's 2 wins away, from hoisting a Lombardi trophy. Now it's like, all right, like they're winning a certain way, and it's not traditional with what we've seen from recent Super Bowl winners, right? It's not something that it wins in today's NFL. But they only need to do it for 2 more games, and so now it's like, all right, they can stay hot and keep rolling in terms of these big plays from Barkley and elite defense. They've proven this year that is a winning formula for this team. I don't see any reason why to back off them right now.
All right, I agreed. And lastly, let's look at the AFC and Bills' great win last night. I mean, a fall behind early, and Andrews helped out with the drop, but they escape, and they go up against Mahomes and the 12th man, which is the official. So the officials. So how do you see that the classic battle between Chiefs and Bills?
Classic battle, no question. Obviously Kansas City got that win earlier this year, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch that game. On Sunday. I will be. So this past week was my last game in studio for our game day programming for the Eagles. I'll be on the road for the Shrine Bowl this weekend. So I'll be taking that in from my hotel. Watching Eagles Commanders, and then Bills Chiefs. But this game is gonna be a lot of fun to be able to watch and see who advances. My gut says right now, and I haven't put a ton of thought into it. My gut says Buffalo early in the week, but we'll see if it changes for me as the week goes on.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Great, Franny, excellent stuff. We'll talk to you later in the week. Happy filming.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon. Hey, enjoy tonight, national title game.
Yeah, I can't. What do you think? I can't see.
I think Buckeyes.
I'm rooting Irish. I love Notre Dame. I want to see them win. I hate Ohio State, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I've got an article up on allphly.com right now with all the draft prospects to watch, not just for like this year, but even moving forward. Some of these young guys on both sides, a lot to like. But I think the injuries have caught up to Notre Dame, and I think it might be too much for them in this matchup. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited though. It should be a good game.
Best player in the game tonight, Jeremiah Smith, man. Oh God, and I worry about him because he's been quiet the last couple of games. Quiet against Texas, got a good secondary. Jeremiah Smith could go off tonight.
Yeah, Texas did a great job of taking him away. I think when you look at Notre Dame, they just play good team defense. They just find a way to win. It's honestly, it's a lot of like what we're talking about with the Eagles. Like they run the ball really well. They do a nice job of not turning the ball over, and they play good defense and they play good special teams, and they just find. Will that be enough here in this one? Can they do enough with the injuries they've got to be able to keep the lid on this Ohio State offense? That's going to determine ultimately the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Enjoy it, pal. Thanks, my man. There he is, the great Fran Duffy. Franny Films. All right, coming up, here's the deal. We got anybody in the chat. I know Nikki wants to join us.
Nice.
All right. Anybody in the chat that wants to come on, send Andrew a note.
Yes. And
we'll beam you up, man. We'll beam you on the show.
Let's do it. All right? Yeah.
Today's a day to celebrate.
Yes.
It's a Victory Monday. So we're going to go through the playback coming up. And then anybody who wants to join us, we'll send you a link. You could join us and hang out. And
don't have to be on video if your hair's a mess.
You don't have to be on video. I don't really care.
But, we look like bums. Join us.
Dude, it's cold. It's cold. Flyers ski cap, Eagles hoodie, or PHLY hoodie. We're good, man. Let's do it. All right. Let's talk about a little Parks Casino. All right. I'll get you all the entertainment acts at another time, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Because let's talk about the Parks Casino and the Bet Parks app. Like, so the sports book and the Bet Parks app has everything, especially coming into this weekend. You got tonight. So Ohio State, what's it at? Can you look it up?
Ohio State minus 9.5. Over under is 45.
It's up to 9.5. Oh,
Yikes.
man.
That's all right. Detroit was up to 8.5, so.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Right now, early line, Eagles 5.5 over Washington.
Correct.
On the Bet Parks app. What's Buffalo, Kansas City?
Buffalo's plus 1.5.
Bills plus 1.5.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see Bills Eagles. Would be outrageous.
It's another tease day on the Parks app. You get the Bills plus 7.5 and the Eagles basically money line.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Check out the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. And by the way, all the basketball, it's MLK Day today. There's always a full slate of NBA starting early. College ball, which is a lot of fun. That's, you know, what VG and I like. So you can check it all out and all the casino stuff. So, in fact, if you're a new customer, you download the app. If you get up to $1,000 back casino bonus if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Ohio, Michigan, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
They got Squid Games on there now. Like I
Yeah.
don't even like the series Squid
The
Games. I've never
slots.
seen it, but they
Yeah.
got Squid Game slot, which I'm having
Rocky,
fun
all
with.
that stuff's fun.
Yeah, man.
Give me 3 Paulies.
The Rocky.
Give me
one.
3 Paulies.
Yeah. You know what's not fun? Home repairs.
No.
They're miserable for me. I've tried to do them once or twice, and I make a mistake, and I got to pay more than I would have. So our friends are here to help you out. The Ace Hardware Home Services. You know, everyone's got a guy, and you don't know, is it really a guy? But Ace has got the guys, the people. You got a leaky pipe. You got an air conditioning issue or a heating issue, more importantly these days. Faucet leaking. You know, Ace Hardware Home Services, they're right around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the right people to do the job. They got that person because they're not just the helpful hardware folks these days. Nah, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, Ace has got trusted pros to keep your house running all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door with trusted professionals. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project and give you a bit of a peace of mind so you don't have to stress it out, which I do. So check out our friends, Ace Hardware Home Services.
I like it. I like it.
Hey, real quick.
Yes,
if
buddy.
anybody is trying to call into the show today, we love it. We want you to call in. Just email me. My email is andrew@allphly.com. Just email me. I'll send you a link. We can get on here.
Put
We
it
can
on
hear
the chat because you can see it on the chat.
Yeah, I've been putting it in the chat a couple times, but I just wanted to
Some
say it
people
out
don't
loud.
get involved in the chat. Some people might just be listening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
true.
It's andrew@allphly.com. Call in and let's hear what you got to say, you know?
Yeah, we love.
Victory Day.
It's the one thing I miss the most about radio and not being on radio is that warmth, the exchange of celebration, the celebratory, more so than the gripe. I've always liked the celebration more than the gripe. The gripe's part of being a sports fan, but I like the celebration and sharing it. So, like all week long, man, send Andrew a note. If there's a time, because we're going to go OT probably every day this week, let Andrew know. We'll get you on.
Yeah, it's like a video call, right? You like a FaceTime call, kind of?
You can do a video call. If you just want to be audio, I can just make it audio, like you're just on the phone.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But Fit Dad in the chat, yes, you can do calls. Just email me, andrew@allphly.com.
I like it, dude. I like it. I like it. All right. Time now for the playback. The playback. We'll start, as always, with the bald eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Being released.
Yeah.
I love the bald eagle starting it. The snow.
Such a majestic
The
creature.
the idea of yesterday with the snow is going to start in the second half. And you know, it's going to get flurry or like it's going to get thicker and the whole thing. Here it is.
I'm amazed they can train. This eagle just doesn't take off.
That's unbelievable, man.
Right?
How beautiful that animal is.
I'm loving these horns.
I'm about to say,
national
sounds like they went
anthem.
back to the
By
trumpet.
the way,
There's a
big
trumpet.
job on NBC for not showing it.
Yeah, come on.
Come on,
We got
dude.
an eagle
You
coming.
got-
Oh,
in.
that wild card will always be.
Like, you got to see that and hear that. That's awesome.
I like the trumpet, but they're not. Get the sax back.
The sax. Yeah, that was great.
Now, I got a real quick aside, funny story. So you have the eagle going out. We do the eagle.
Yeah.
There's a team in Italy that does the in Serie A, the soccer league, that does the falcon.
Ooh.
Right? They release a falcon.
Mm-hmm.
So the falconer, who's been doing it for like 20 years, got fired for exposing himself.
What? What?
What?
What?
Yes, I'm like,
Wow.
What?
During a game?
no, I don't know, online or
Oh,
something.
oh.
Who knows?
Oh,
The
man.
falconer got caught and exposed himself, so they have to find a new falconer.
Jesus.
Yeah, classic.
Dude,
All right.
dudes are crazy.
Yeah, it was goofy. All right, from the bald eagle to the boys coming out of the tunnel.
Let me ask you something, because I was close. I had good seats 2 weeks ago, or whatever,
Yeah.
a week ago, and I see where all the players' wives and girlfriends hang out.
Yeah.
They do photo ops, take pictures, and then after warm ups, right before they go back into the tunnel, all the players come over and give their girlfriends or wives hugs and kisses. And how do you feel? Do you like that? Do you like the mixing of significant others with
I don't
that,
care.
or should you just stay focused on football?
I don't care.
What's wrong with the hug and kiss?
I don't care.
I
It
don't know.
doesn't
There's
matter.
a whole bunch of
I'm-
doing photo ops, hugging kids. They should be focused.
By the
Maybe it's
way,
a good
get the
luck
mind
hug.
right. Get
we
the
got
mind right.
breaking news. Thanks to Tony the Ref. The Steelers have fired Mike Tomlin.
Whoa!
What?
Wow.
Wow.
That's a bombshell. The Steelers, who never fire coaches,
Oh my gosh.
all those wins, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how you blame Mike Tomlin for Russell Wilson at quarterback.
No, they've been a shell. They have no offensive line since Ben left.
Yeah, I don't get it, but yeah, there
Mike
it is.
McCarthy, question mark?
Yeah,
Is
probably.
he sure?
Pittsburgh guy?
Tony the Ref.
Tony the
I
ref
trust
got.
Tony.
Tony the ref is calling in, by the way, I think.
Oh,
He has
good.
one
I'm
link.
not seeing this anywhere.
You can
You're not saying it? I trust Tony the Ref.
you can ask him when he's
All right,
on.
maybe he's got inside connections.
I look at that.
Inside with Tony.
There's no
don't
Shefty's
say
not
it?
doing it. No.
All right, we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Nolan Smith with the Kobe's jersey. I love this.
Yeah.
It's just a picture, but yeah,
Look at that.
Yeah. That's,
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
strong.
awesome. And then here's some fireworks before the game. Great
Crowd was loud yesterday.
Right, the ominous skies. Oh, it's the greatest.
I was waiting for the snow. I was up in Bucks County and it was dumping before the game started.
It
So
takes
when
a
I
while
turned
to
when I
move
turned the
down.
TV on, I'm like, oh man, it's still green. There's no snow.
Yeah,
Thankfully, we got it.
yeah. And then what do we say? Get Jalen involved in the run game.
Mhm.
Well, here he is. Because when they lost Fisk on that play. He got hurt. That was a huge deal.
It's their second best player on defense.
Yeah, that was a big deal. And now here is a huge sack by Jalen Carter.
Most of any rookie. 3rd and 3. Stafford trying to step up, stepped into
Picked
the
him
arms
Oh,
of
maturity moment too. I was like, don't slam him, don't
Yeah,
slam him, don't
yeah.
slam him.
Exactly. All right, so it's 7-6, and that set the stage for the first of 2 bombs by Saquon. That was a pretty good. That's going to be a good little
rivalry. Or
Yeah, because of Verse with the thumbs down and taking shots at the Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Taking
I'm a
being one
fan
of
of
our
Jared Verse.
Yeah, man. Man, that was all right. All right. There was a big deal, right? Because then the Rams, that basically takes us into the second half. And what's this one you got?
Kyron Williams.
The fumble?
No, this was a big run that he had to start the half.
Okay, because then they went out. They added 3, and we could skip over that. Let's go to the Jalen Hunt sack.
Yeah,
Because Jalen has the big sack. And again, that was another one. You know, the game is tight. Snow's coming down. Here it is. Now, Collinsworth said this was right. If he does not get there, he's got somebody was open.
Yeah.
It was going to be a big play on that. And then, of course, oh my God, the safety.
Ugh.
This is when things started to get dicey.
Let's just run the ball.
The 15, right? And then to me, this was the biggest play of the game. The biggest play of the game, no doubt, because they're driving, and this is the Kyron Williams fumble. Because God forbid they score 7. If they score 3, all of a sudden you look up and you're down.
Yes.
That was it, man.
And there's been mentions in the chat. I do want to say Tirico was good yesterday. I thought he called a good game. I like him.
I thought both of them actually were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You anti Tirico?
it's all right.
Oh man, he's a paisan.
I mean, he's all right. I mean, I don't.
I like Tirico.
He's solid. Like he's not Joe Buck.
Who said that? Who said that?
No, I mean, I like Joe Buck. I
like Joe Buck.
I like Joe Buck.
I like Kevin Burkhardt.
I like Kevin Burkhardt.
I love Kevin. We got Kevin and Brady on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Nice.
I don't know.
I go Kevin and Brady greater than Tirico Collinsworth.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I
yeah,
mean, the second half of that's a real drag for poor Tirico.
Yeah. I mean,
Collinsworth wasn't insufferable yesterday.
I thought he was good.
I thought he was
fine.
good. You know who puts me to sleep? Nance and Romo.
Oh,
They will make you fall
I
asleep.
agree with that.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Romo's the worst.
Yes.
He stinks. There was something. I knew he was going to say it. It's so like stupid and trite.
Yeah.
Right. He's like talking about Cook on a run, and he's like, "Let Cook," and then like it dawned on him, like he came up with the greatest line in the history of lines: "Let Cook cook."
Oh yeah! Wow. Good job, Tony.
And then he spun it up, and he was like, he was so proud of himself. Let Cook cook.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Pat yourself on the back for that one.
Oh my God. He's horrible. He stinks. He is terrible. I mean, he makes Collinsworth. I actually would way prefer Collinsworth doing game over Romo.
Agree. And everyone loved him when he first came out because he was calling plays. And
Yeah, I actually liked him.
He
was into it.
He's grown into a monster or
terrible.
something. Yeah.
And like, when he first came, I liked him, right? Because he was excitable and, was into it. But now, like, I don't even, like, he doesn't even pay attention. Like, the stuff he says, there's no, like, insight or, I don't know. It's weird. And then this is another one, man. Here we go. Stafford fumble. Another huge Snow Angels. Let me see the Snow Angels. I want to see the Snow Angels.
The defense
That's awesome.
enjoying their snow angel moment. Williams 3 in the regular season.
That's great.
The defense.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. That's what's great.
Angel
Great. All right. Now it comes home run number 2. And I don't know how he gets this kind of speed in the snow.
No.
And I know he's wearing
He's
the long,
got the extra, what are they, a foot long cleats? Ice shoes?
the long spikes, but my God, I don't know how he gets that kind of run.
I don't know if you saw on the broadcast, but they put a close up on Saquon and Jalen's face.
Yeah.
And you see Saquon lip to Jalen. I got this right before that play.
I saw that.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that, which was amazing.
Calling game.
I also liked the Howie and Saquon hugging, freaking out.
Oh.
Did you see that?
I just sent Frazier that as the tweet because I wanted to do that as the final. My favorite part of the game cap.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we'll give Frazier a second to pull it up towards the end.
It was he's jumping up.
Dude. Little Howie Wizard jumping up.
Yeah. All right, but then it gets dicey, right? The Saquon second home run, and then it gets dicey. Now, by the way, as always, you can find the show on all of our streaming places, right? So Xfinity, Roku, Samsung, as always, YouTube. And, we're going to continue on YouTube as always. On YouTube, we can go as long as we want. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. You get it into your inbox every day. All right. I know we're on My Fox Philly as well, but, the whole show on YouTube. Here you go. The Rams score. Here's their touchdown to make things a little dicey.
Can't move. Just give it the ball.
And you call that play?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was a bad play. You want to put the bit, either you hand it to Barkley or screen it to him or figure out something. Not that. And that made everything dicey. And here was the play that sets up the final drive. This Puka play puts them in striking distance.
Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable.
What a catch.
Yard line.
He's so good.
Oh my God. This is what really scared the daylights. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you're like, here they come.
Oh my God, right?
Here they come.
So
after that extra point's going to kill us.
Stafford hits Cup for 3 yards. Then there's a false start, which was huge because then it made it 2nd and 12 at the 23. Stafford hits Nakua again, right, for 10. That sets up 3rd and 2. And the big play of the game, thanks to Jalen. And then, of course, the play to get the end of the game. It's not close. Looking at Nakua by the end line, and it's ball game, baby. It's celebration time. Speaking of celebrations, by the way, we want to do all your calls or your check-ins, your video calls, or your audio, whatever you want. Uncle Frank lost his link. All right. So anybody that wants to join us, you just can send Andrew a note.
I'm pretty sure Andrew sends it to him in a way that, it's in your email or a text message. How do you lose the link?
It's definitely in his email.
It's not like it's a vanishing text or a vanishing email. Come on, Uncle Frank.
He's on 2 or 3 gummies right now. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Here's Howie Roseman at the end, though.
Yeah, Howie. Don't pull it Andy. Oh, that's that PR guy. He bought his leg. That was awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Barkley's the best, man. He goes over to Howie, hugging Howie.
Yeah.
That was Price's moment. It really was. Great imagery from that game. Snow falling down and Saquon, hero of the day. Pretty cool. All right. Now let's talk to our friends. So who do we got first?
We have, let me get him up here real quick. We're going to have Nick from Collegeville.
Nicky.
Joining us in about 1 second.
One Mississippi.
Here he is.
There he is. Nicky.
Oh, he's got PHLY gear.
You got me?
I love that.
Listen, if you want to call the show, just call Andrew at PHLY Philly.
All
There you
PHLY.
All PHLY, but you got it.
Good job, buddy.
Listen, if you're Howie, don't you have to get a better sideline seat for that last play? Like he was in like Roxborough. He was at the other end.
I like him staying away from the action. I prefer him away from the action. We don't want him to get hurt. There's some big guys over there.
Sure,
we don't want him hurt.
And listen, thanks for keeping me away from my snow shoveling responsibilities outside. I appreciate that. I'd rather go out when it's 23 degrees than 19 degrees. So hopefully we get 2 more degrees out, 3 more degrees out in the next couple.
These people in the city who don't shovel their sidewalks. It was treacherous this morning. Like, shovel it. Put some salt down last night.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Oh, did I disappear? My fault. Wrong button, gentlemen. I'm still there. Okay. I was increasing the volume. So I'm happy because I don't understand. I don't understand how this team keeps winning offensively. I understand what the defense is doing. I love them. The last 2 plays of the game, defensive plays of the games, were amazing. Carter and Davis are just Carter has grown into his role since day one. I mean, he's playing 99. He's playing more minutes than Chamberlain did here in Philly, like 109%. How do you do that? And Davis is just now finding his role, how to feed off of him, and they're just wrecking havoc up the middle. So I'm grateful for that. What I don't understand is, it's like Kalen. Come on, man. And Kalen and Jalen, like, I need a better offensive understanding. Like, they got to just sit down and find 15 plays, pass plays. We know what the run plays are, but I need 15 plays that he feels comfortable with, and just get rid of the football. That safety was insane. That call. And here's the other thing. So later in the game, first down, we're trying to milk the clock after they scored that touchdown, and they made it a 6-point game. You get 4 on first down, which Saquon, right? Like, they didn't run the ball 3 times straight in a series. Like, you just, at some point you got to go, you know what? I'm going to just run the ball 3 times, and if we're close, we tush push. Now, tush push. We've seen other teams. Like, is it Ohio State that uses their tight end? That they come flanking and they come behind the center and then he takes it.
Yeah, there's a couple teams that will use that. Andrews for Baltimore.
Right, Andrews yesterday. Right. Here's my thing. First of all, what the Ravens do, if you're going to use Andrews, why is your quarterback still in? Just get another blocker out there. Everybody knows you're doing a tush push, and the Eagles, everybody knows they're going to do the tush push. Take out your quarterback, put Barkley back there, and put another offensive lineman behind him just to pick him up and throw him over the offensive line. Like, I don't understand why you would put your quarterback, who was already compromised. When we got that first down inside the 1.5, like, it was clearly tush push area, but they were scared because of his knee, so they ran a draw to Saquon, and he lost 3 yards. And then it was the offsides, and they backed him up, and they took the field goal.
You're right about that. That play was stopped. Now they wound up kicking a field goal because of the penalty.
Right.
But if you go back and look, they lost yardage on that play, and that would have been the Rams could have tied the game with a field goal.
Yep.
Yeah, it was insane. So I'm happy we're winning. And guess what? I would have never thought we would be here with this type of offense, but we're winning, and I'm on board 100%. VG, you just I gotta just push back a little bit with the conversation you had with Brain. If you look at all the quarterbacks this weekend, excluding Jayden Daniels, he's the only guy to put up 229 yards and 2 touchdowns, 122 quarterback rating. Exclude him. All the other winning and losing quarterbacks have the same stats as Jalen. But when I put my glasses on, like Anthony says, and you watch the game, they look different.
Well,
they still look different.
He's getting sacked 7 times. I mean, that's the glaring issue for me.
Listen, that's not all his fault, but I'll say 3.5 of those sacks yesterday were his. That safety, he knows he's got 1.3 seconds to get rid of that football. And if there's nobody open, you got to get rid of the football. You know as a quarterback that you're not behind, you're winning. You can't take a sack. If you're behind and it's 4th down, you got to hold the football and try to make a play. It's 2nd down. Like, it's 2nd down. You got 1.2 seconds. Nobody's open. Throw it away. I don't understand that. That's just like, I want to say rookies do that, but Jayden Daniels doesn't do that. I don't understand. So, but I'm happy.
I mean, that's the glaring difference is the sacks. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Listen, we said from the beginning of this thing that at the bye week, Nikki, you are a downhill run team, right? Like,
absolutely.
You just got to lean into it. My only fear about Sunday is Jalen's knee, because Jalen needs to be part of the run game, like the first drive, you know?
Right.
Everything
like, we've noticed that.
You live with. Like, everything else, it is. As long as he can move, you need him to move.
Right. Yeah. And the question is Washington going to say, all right, we're going to call your bluff. We're not going to worry about the edges, and we're going to just clog up the middle and stop Saquon, and then see if Jalen decides to keep it and go around the end. We'll have to see. So, listen, I'm happy. Listen, I had a KC Eagles Super Bowl matchup futures ticket. I'd never thought that was at 2,500 plus 2,500. Never thought that was even available. They're giving a plus 700 today, so I'm cashing one ticket. They're giving me 7 times my buy-in, which is $10 because it's a pizza bet. I mean, in freaking August, I never thought that they would be there, but I'm like, they've gotten there. So, listen, I can't wait for this week, guys. Call in. I don't care how you do it. Call in. It's a beautiful time of year, man. Before you know it, we're gonna watch Embiid's knee for the rest of the cold weather. Peace, fellas.
You're the man, Nicky. Go Birds.
Thanks.
Love it.
Yeah, man. I love having some people calling in.
I love the whole thing. What we got?
We got Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank. Here we go.
Hey! Happy Victory Monday to all the Delaware
Uncle
Valley.
He's moving.
Are you
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Happy Victory Monday, man.
Yeah.
Hey, VG, you mentioned gummies, which it is too early for me, but I think Kellen Moore was on gummies yesterday. He was more prepared for his Cowboys interview than I think his
I
play
wish I could take
calling.
credit for it. There's social media going around calling him Kellen Moron.
How that play after Jalen gets his knee bent like halfway up his arse, he's got him rolling back. I didn't get it. And did you guys notice Jalen Carter's
Fit that.
what is so
like he's driving into
what is so
someone's
GD? What is so GD?
Be
funny
careful,
with you?
cuz, please. Uncle Frank, can you pull over? You're making me nervous.
Okay.
Please, pull over.
All right, hang on.
Oh, my
Josie,
God. You're making
pulled
me
over.
nervous.
Dog in the back
He's
seat.
got the dog, his ice,
Yeah, for the
the
health of
snow.
the dog, just pull over.
You're only half there anyway, buddy.
On Jalen Carter's second
Yeah.
sack, Higbee was wide open. Did you guys notice that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Orlovsky broke that down too
Yeah.
pretty well.
well, he breaks it down like no other, right? Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Big Howie Roseman game. Saquon and Jalen. So, what the hell? It's so funny.
It's just
You are.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
make us laugh.
You look so casual. You're just
You
hanging out
make us
driving in a
laugh.
snowstorm.
We love you.
on
Uncle
FaceTime.
Frank, it's why you're a great character, man. You're the best.
Well, you named me Uncle. You gave me the uncle, so that's awesome. Do we know is Quinyon out next week?
We don't know. That's the whole thing. He told reporters it's going to be fine. I don't know. I mean, him and Jalen, you gotta say prayer to Padre Pio.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Anthony, the girls from the Babylon Club said hi. They were asking for you.
Whoa. What's the Babylon Club?
They got.
Oh, hey, Uncle Frank.
Listen, their legs are so long they go up and make an ass out of themselves. I got to tell you. Anthony will fill you in. Don't worry. It's not a strip bar. It's not a. Good Lord. No. Anyway, that was kind of a joke.
Where are you taking the
and
dog?
the early line is what? Did I see 4.5?
5.5.
Oh, okay. Man, that's
a great sign that the minute it came out at 4.5, I guess.
Did it?
Yes.
And it was immediately bet up.
Nice.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm going to start my novenas that Jalen's good. Woo! Don't need that agita.
No.
And like VG said, we got to soak this in. Oh, no. Nikki said, because the Sixers, what do we got with them? Hey.
No, listen, they're right now, we got nothing. Like, the Flyers are fun. They're going to be a little bit of the story down the line, right? Sixers, it's lost season. Like, this is it until the fall, right? Like when you get the Phillies and pennant race and stuff like that.
I know.
So we got to enjoy this. I agree.
We got to soak it in, slow down time. Good stuff, man. Love you. Miss you.
You're the best, Uncle Frank.
Love you, Uncle Frank.
Come over here one day, all right?
Yeah, let me know when. Honest to God, I'm
open invite. Uncle Frank.
I'm free from now till death do us part. So
all right, well, you got an open invite, buddy. Every day, 9 to 11-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just we love you. Cut back on the distracted driving. We love you, man.
All right. Love you guys. Great show.
Go Birds.
Uncle Frank. All right. Who we got?
We got Tony the Ref.
Here he is. Tony! What's up,
Tony?
brother?
Can y'all hear me?
We got you great, buddy.
Good. Hey, scrap that Tomlin note. My brother went to school with Tomlin's brother and cousin, so I don't know how I got in the group chat. A family member sent that out erroneously, so scrap that.
Okay. So I knew. Listen, I trust you. All right.
Yeah.
Now, normally I would never trust anybody, but I trust you, and I know you got sources. So
my brother had texted me. He said, no. He said, Mike is good. Mike is good. So,
all right.
I don't know. So I was like, take me out the chat then.
All right.
What's going on, fellas? Hey, VG, you one of my heroes, man.
Oh yeah.
You one of my heroes, man. Cause always just listening to you over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to put the face with the voice, man. You on it, man. You're a good dude.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man.
Well, we love Tony. I've been going back with Tony 20 years.
20 years, yep. 20 years to Elephant and Castle. You and what's the name? Elephant and Castle.
Yeah.
What was the joint on Walnut Street?
The Copa.
When you were the Copa. Well, you had Ribbits one time. I forgot.
Ribbit was on Walnut Street, I think.
Yeah. Was it Ribbits? It was another restaurant for a long time.
Yeah, baby.
You know what? The good thing about yesterday's game, I had a game. I was supposed to be in New York, but it was canceled. So I'm like, good. So I just buckled in, sat down and watched the game. Cause usually I'm like you, Ant. I like to watch the game by myself. If I'm not at the game, I don't like all the people around. I'll just chill and just watch the game by myself. So, it just was taking it in like, okay.
It's weird. I'm a homebody when it comes to that stuff. Like,
yeah.
I've been in a million games and I love it. But I like to concentrate. Like, I love these games and I love to watch them. So I like concentrating.
Yeah, I watch them at home because, I like to eat a lot during the games. It's free at home. It's nice.
Yep. Well, it's like saying you've done a lot of games throughout your career. I used to work at the Vet. I worked there from 87 to when it closed. I used to be supervisor for concessions. So I got stories and everything from, I'm friends with a lot of the Phillies. It's guys like Wes Chamberlain and Ricky Jordan. I still contact with a lot of those guys, and around Major League Baseball, I got to be friends with a lot of guys and, some of the old Eagles teams. So I've been there, been in the freezing game. I was there when they lost to the Rams 21-7 in the rain and cold. The last Tampa game. Jeez. I think Joe Jurevicius is still running.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of this Eagles run, right?
Yeah.
And how they've been since the Super Bowl is that all those bad memories kind of go away.
Gone. It's consistency. That's why sometimes I don't get some of the fans. This has been a consistent winning franchise since 2000.
Yep.
Jeffrey Noy bought the team for what, 180,000. It's worth what now? $4, $5, $6 billion.
180 million and turn it out to multi-billions. Yeah.
But it's
funny because Andy Reid showed them the way, and how he's a great student of how it all worked, and they're just a model franchise.
Model franchise. You got to have
later. Since 2002, The Eagles have hosted 6 NFC Championship games. Next closest is 3, San Fran and Seattle.
Wow.
You got to have consistency in your front office.
Yeah.
That's where it is. That's why I didn't know Washington, they had a long drought like that since 91.
Yeah.
I thought Dallas was the longest. Well, Dallas is the longest now. So I got some creeps, in my circle that's Dallas fans, and they be trying to talk and say, hey, 90, 95. I mean, what you talking about? Eagles are there every year, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no. I mean, they just got to go away, those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But other than that,
they're going to hire Jason Witten.
Love it.
No, take Kellen Moore. Because that play, why are you calling a reverse pivot play for your quarterback when he just got bent over on his knee? Just get the ball at 26. I don't understand
that. I don't get that tone.
And I remember when you said he hired, and the people that are Dallas fans, they say, well, you'll find out. Where's the ingenuity in the offense? There's still no ingenuity in the offense.
Yeah.
But you know what? We 2 games away from another parade. Cuz VG, you gotta let me know where the post up will be.
Yeah.
When we go down Broad Street like we were last time. Just go Birds, cause like you said, the Sixers, they should have just said, look, Embiid's not gonna play this season. He was hurt during the Olympics and that's it. But you keep BSing the fans. I haven't even been down yet this year. I usually go to a couple before I get my schedule rolling, but it's
funny,
a waste.
I forgot that they were even playing, right? Last night with the
Yeah.
football. I check in and poor Maxie. Maxie's got like 37, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just a one-man team. I feel like, it's like the bad Iverson days when it's just AI, nobody else.
Look, the only thing I like now is I'm seeing my man Justin Edwards get run from Imhotep, so I got love for him. I ref him in high school, so I'm glad to see that that he can play in the league. But other than that,
what do you got any big games this week?
Go Birds!
Go Birds! Tony the ref. We love him, Tony the ref. Fantastic.
Yeah. He's a better ref than a news circulator.
Well, I knew he knows people, so that's why I was wondering. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's the best. All right. Time now. Oh, we have any more? All right. Time now for the Rite Aid back in the day moment.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
1948.
No! We really are going back in the day.
Eagles win their first NFC Championship game against the Chicago Cardinals. Both teams combined in a snow game for 5 passes.
On his shoulders, Steve Van Buren blast off right tackle for the game-winning touchdown.
Steve Van Buren's game-winning touchdown.
Let's look at that payoff play again in slow motion. Thompson hands the ball off to Van Buren. The big hole opens up as Steve crashes over for the touchdown.
Hand off to Van Buren. The big hole opens up.
Oh, my God, look at that. That's unbelievable.
5 total passes between 2 professional
That's
teams.
Fantastic. And all these years later, nearly 100
Here we are,
of them,
full
right?
circle. Here we go.
Yeah, it's snowing in Philadelphia.
Running.
And it's awesome, man. It was incredible. What a day, everybody. It's going to be a great week, all right? It's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun this week leading up to the championship game that is right here, Dateline, Philadelphia, for the NFC title game, baby. Eagles and Commanders cannot wait. Road to New Orleans. We're going to be in NOLA.
Yeah, enjoy the week, man. Enjoy the run.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody, have a great day. All right, we love you. Enjoy this run. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.